Welcome to the Blue Lounge. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Whew. I don't know. You know, it wasn't supposed to be like this. It was not supposed to be like this. Wolves. 2-goal lead on Wolves. And we can't see the game out. We can't see the game out. 2-0. 2-0. All we had to do was control the ball, keep possession, and see the game out. Nothing fancy, nothing special. Pass the ball, take your chances when they come, and just see the game out. What's complicated about that? What is difficult about that? We're Chelsea Football Club. We're supposed to be able to do that against Wolves. I'm frustrated, lads. I really am frustrated. I mean, I want to make this stream a little bit more upbeat. I want to make this a little bit more of a entertainment kind of thing, but I am frustrated. There was a very good performance by some of the players today. A very good performance by some of the players, but we couldn't see the game out tactically, mentally focused. Look, the commentators were all bigging up their goalkeeper. He conceded 4 goals in that game. One was offside, the other one was a foul by Timo Werner. And what an offside decision that was. What took them like 3 hours to decide by VAR? I mean, seriously, if it takes you that long to decide whether it's an offside or not, surely the benefit goes to the attacker in that instance. I don't know. Timo Werner did not foul. Timo Werner did not commit a foul. That is a goal that should have stood. It didn't. Romelu Lukaku put in a shift and a half today. The first goal, penalty, yes. His aggression, his assertiveness, his determination is the reason why that penalty took place. And that's why he put a ball in the back of the net. And it's good to see a striker doing it for a change. And then he gets another opportunity a couple of minutes later and weak foot, fantastic strike, back of the net. That's what we paid the money for. But then all we had to do was defend. All we had to do was defend. We couldn't do that. Thomas Tuchel, I don't know, his decision making in the substitutions that he made, I don't know. Disappointed that we did not win that game. And I'll be honest with you, it's not really about beating Wolves. It's about just, having a chill, easy, couple of games until the end of the season where we know we're in the Champions League. Everything is fine, everything's cool, and we just move on. Instead, we're throwing points away. Whoever's coming to Stamford Bridge, take 2, take 3. Enjoy your weekend. Disappointed with that. Let me say hello to the people in the chat. Who do I have? Oh, and lads, I am about to change the emojis for the channel members. I'll be doing that over the next week or so. So if you have any recommendations on any particular images or any particular individuals you want me to add to the emoji list, let me know in the comments, not in the chat, in the comments of the video. Then I could look at them and address them at a later time. First comment in the chat was from Chris. Like, share, subscribe. The best performance. Good to see Boehly at the game. I'm in LA, so won't be on the stream. Just leaving this message to let you know my thoughts. Up to Chelsea. Let's relegate Leeds. Todd Boehly at the game. Big up to you, Chris. I hope you have a good time in LA. Yeah, Todd Boehly. What a character! What a character! He celebrated twice. Third time lucky, I guess. But yeah, I would have liked to have him see Chelsea win after he signed that contract, but still time. Limitless, unbelievable. Yes, it was. Welcome, Limitless. Good to see you in the chat. What's friends? Okay, saying draw with Leeds and Leicester and beat Watford and we're okay, but our nerves wouldn't be. Like if we have to draw with Leeds and Leicester, and I don't know. I mean, is that what we're looking to do? Is that our standard now? I'm not really. I want to smash Leeds and just keep going. Jeff, big up to you. Welcome. Good to see you in the chat. Alex, good to see you in the chat. Yeah, Jeff, a lot of pain. Alex saying, impossible, what a disgrace, such a shame. Yeah, it was a shame. Last minute goal. CFC Blues, I love Boehly's reactions. Yeah, it was good. Olu, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well, Olu. Marco, big up to you. Shame today, Chelsea. Not a good result. M3. We are currently not mentally there, mate. It looks like we need to wake up. We need to wake up. No one here should feel pain. That was a poor game management. Period. It was. I wasn't happy with the way Tuchel managed the team. I wasn't happy, and it's been a few like that. A few games like that. Not happy with it. I'm not sure if it's because he's saying it isn't really the whole ownership situation, but he doesn't seem to be having his mind in the game. Taking off Lukaku in the 90th minute to bring on Kai Havertz, who then misses a sitter. Why? Are you trying to kill time by doing a substitution at that point in time in the game? Bring on a defender. Take off Lukaku, bring on a defender. Why Kai Havertz? 90 minutes. I don't know. Yeah, it's baffling. Big up to you, Chelsea fan. Big up to you. Who else do I have in here? Have I missed anyone? Matthias, what's Matthias saying? The ref was poor and the players let us down today. Yeah, the ref made some silly decisions. I agree. He made some silly decisions. Courtney, big up to you. Bless up, Courtney. This club is something else. It is. What's Oliver saying? Again, Mendy is useless. Pulisic, I don't even know what to do to describe him. Chelsea should have. The goal that he conceded was a fantastic shot, but Mendy normally reacts and tries to save those. Mendy hasn't been great. Mendy is not useless, but he hasn't been great. That I give you. Big up to everyone. Welcome, lads. I know there is a game currently on right now, and I'm just gonna just check to see where that game is at. Yeah, Liverpool Tottenham. It's currently 0-0. That game has a lot of implications on where we are in the top four race. Should Liverpool beat Tottenham today, it would make it I want to say, done and dusted, but make it difficult for us to drop out of the top four. Lads, I am going to watch the Tuchel press conference with you. We're going to react to it, and then we're going to take it from there. Give me 2 seconds. Let me bring it up. Also, after the press conference, I will put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to jump on and give me their thoughts and opinions on the game, they are welcome to do so. Let's listen to what Tuchel said after the game.
Yeah, thank you.
And lads, if the audio is bad, it's from their end, because I was watching it earlier and I did have a tough time listening to it. So if the audio doesn't come across too good, I do apologize.
Okay, good evening. We're going to do a review of today's game, and then we're going to do a very quick Mondays with the 22:30 embargo Sunday night, just on the side for the newspapers. Who wants to start in today's game? Jerry.
Thomas, does that feel, in a way, almost like a defeat?
Of course. Of course.
What do you think it's down to?
I think that we started both halves very well and controlled the match, and we took a very offensive approach to this game today, in a very offensive 5-3-2. We knew about the risks. We knew about the risks in coverage to avoid counterattacks, but we knew about it, so you need to be very, very disciplined. Showed the discipline over most parts of the...
You see this app right here? It's called Audible. There's actually a better way to make money on Amazon.
Of the first half, but within situations we took too much risk. We lost discipline in the formation, and you cannot do this because it was anyway, like I said, a very offensive approach. So that costed us some dangerous moments in the end of the first half, where we were lucky not to concede. We were unlucky not to score. I'm not sure if it was a foul in front of the goal, and had some good half chances. Second half reminded the team to stick to the plan, to execute the match plan with more discipline and more precise. We did this. Then we are 2-0 up. And again, we take too much risk in situation where you cannot take this kind of risk if you anyway have such an offensive approach on the pitch. So we invited counterattacks, we invited big chances. Then once you do this, you lack confidence, you lose confidence, and you invite the opponents to smell that something is possible where it's absolutely unnecessary.
Nick, hang on one Nick. Can you come?
Yeah, but guys, okay, good performance, but this is for sure not the moment to talk about individual performances and praise individual.
Lads, I want to ask you something in the chat. Do me a favor and tell me what you think in respect to Tuchel's not willing to acknowledge the performance of Lukaku. Because he did that in this press conference, and he did that in previous press conferences, and he did it in the post-match interview as well. Should he acknowledge a good performance by a player even though the result wasn't what we were expecting, what we wanted? Let me know in the chat what you think about that. So I'll be interested to see your comments in respect to that. And by the way, Shard, I don't disagree with you on this. Because it's happening regularly. I'm a big fan of Tuchel. I love that. I love him as a manager and as an individual. The way he handles himself. But I have seen this becoming an issue recently. So it's a harsh comment, but I know where you're coming from on it. Let's continue.
Players, we do this as a team, and we lost points, crucial points. This is not the moment to praise individuals.
Tom,
Did you feel 60
6 minutes of time added on at the end was fair, or did you feel
Yeah,
like they got their full
yeah, I think so. It was like, yeah. I mean, didn't was not surprised about it. I did not. I'm not in control of it. If it's correct, but it seems like that it was not a lot of time played, so it's no problem with that.
Mark, did you sense that last 15 minutes that the team had dropped a lot? I mean, it seems to be.
It's not about dropping too low. It's about the ball losses. It's about the structure. It's not about dropping too low. Absolutely not. It's like about where you lose the balls, in which positions, which then the opponent takes, of course, also a crazy approach because they have nothing to lose. We could not score the third one. Huge chances to score the third one. We sometimes cannot even convert the situation into a chance. Like big chances that we don't even create because the pass is missing, the dribbling is wrong, the decision is wrong. So and in some point we played like we were 2-0 down and not 2-0 up, and so I don't think that we were too deep. In the opposite, and then we tried to.
But is that right though? You're 2-0 up and you're playing like you're 2-0 down. Is that right? Shouldn't you have done something about that? Shouldn't Tuchel have done something about that? When you are 2-0 up and you're chasing the game. And if you can see that, why don't you do something about it? I mean, that's my issue with this.
To respond to it and change the structure. So don't know if that was the right decision from me. I need to watch it again, but in general, like this is, for me, I can just repeat myself, it's a lack of execution, of disciplined and execution of the match plan throughout the whole half. And we get punished for it. If it's fair or not, it's not worth discussing. It is like this in a moment.
Neil Barnett.
What was the injury to Alonso? And also at half time, what was the thinking in switching James to that?
Aspi had a yellow card. Aspi was very active in the first half, but he was too offensive. We struggled there on this position because Aspi took too much risk there. What we normally do if we have a 3-2 formation, but today we only had a 3-1 formation in the build-up, so we were like sometimes in a 2 against 2 with Ruben, the only spare player in front, and that's why we changed, because Aspi had a yellow card on top, and that's why we changed and wanted to have the runs from Aspi in second half and the control from Risi. Like I said, I was very happy how we played the second half, how we started the second half, and I think we created chances, half chances, and enough situations to deserve a 2-0 lead. That was more or less the idea behind it.
Was he injured or not? Was Alonso
No,
injured?
was not injured, was just a decision.
Okay, we're going to do at the front here, Tom, and then Simon to finish.
Okay. Ownership issue, how much of a distraction has it been? And now that you have more clarity, is it going to help regain some focus?
No, I don't think so. Actually, I don't think that ownership is a reason for lack of focus. I don't think that there is a lack of focus. I think we're focused, and we showed, like during the situation when it began, that we can still focus. I would not consider this as an advantage for the match against Leeds. Absolutely not. It does not change much for us because the sanctions are not lifted and the season will anyway go on. So we still hope for a positive outcome and for of course that the situation is solved. But in the moment it seems like it, but it's not. So it's not worth thinking about it. We have our own stuff to solve and to do better because we struggle at the moment, obviously.
Okay, Tom, and then Simon to finish.
It was a significant development, though, the announcement of purchase agreement. What was your reaction to that? Do you welcome that? And have you had a chance to talk to anyone?
No, and not a lot of no reaction actually from me, because I heard it today in the morning and I was in the middle of preparing my session. So I'm in my match day routine. there's no influence that I'm more excited to come to the stadium or less excited last week. It's not like this. I do what I do and try to do the best preparation for the match, no matter what's outside. So I even don't people tell me this, of course, but it's not on my phone, or I don't scroll through the news on a match day. I have my routine and I have enough to do, so it did absolutely not affect me. I know it's positive and we hope for the best, and the situation is so long now that we need it to be solved, but for me personally was no influence to the game.
Okay, last one in this section, Simon.
Hey Thomas, yesterday you suggested that some of the players might play for the under-23s tomorrow. Is that still your plan and say?
Yeah, but we will decide it first and then we will tell you.
Okay, that's it. What was...
Right. Interesting press conference. He's not making excuses as such. He is saying that, you know, he tried to address it. He did try to make certain changes, but the execution wasn't there. That's on him. I'm sorry, that's on him. Look, like I said, I support Tuchel. I think he's a great manager, but I think the season's catching up with him. All the troubles, all the problems that we've had this season, it's finally catching up, and it's difficult for him to address them at this point in the season. Yeah, I'm not happy with this, lads. I'm not happy with this. Listen, the link is in the chat. Click on the link, jump on, give me your thoughts and opinions. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And I'm seeing in the chat, there's a few members in the chat. Lads, do me a favor. At the end of this the stream, in the comments, let me know what emojis you would like me to add to the list. I will be removing Marina Granovskaia. I will not remove Roman Abramovich. He will still be as an emoji for at least next season. If not past that, I will keep him in the emojis. But in regards to the players, tell me what players you want me to add. I will probably add Todd Boehly in the emojis as well. So let me know. It's for you guys to use. So you are the members of the channel. I want to know what emojis you want me to add, and I will add them on in the next week or so. So make sure you stick them in the comments. So that'll be Governor, Eric Dugan, Bobby. Who else in here from the members? I know DJ Sav is a member. There's a few of you guys who are members. Boogeyman. So tell me in the comments afterwards what emojis you want me to add. Eric Blue, Bobby, welcome. How are you guys doing?
Well, what can we say? There's a lot to say, a lot of work for the Boehly Consortium to do, a lot to be honest about as we proceed with our discussions this evening. One thing I have to say straight off is, clearly, it's at your leisure to do what you like. But for me, Roman Abramovich remains immortal. I wouldn't remove him from anything, no matter how well anybody else does. He remains immortal in association with Chelsea.
I'm actually going to update the emoji because the one I have is more generic. There is one. There's
of
one
him
picture.
With the World Club Cup, I think would be.
That would be the I was thinking that, and there's one with him with the Champions League banner just behind him. There's a couple. There's a couple that are that are more reflective of his legacy. So I will be changing it, but I will not be removing it. I think it's part of our recent history, and I want to keep it there for people who want to use it. To be able to use it, so
the man is engraved in the structure of this club forever. I just, when a human being writes off, I don't care how much money you have, countries would balk at wiping off 1.6 billion. This man, although his hands were tied, he just relinquished it without hesitation. I mean, upon all, plus all the other things he did for this club, I just think he's immortal. They would like to destroy him, but for me, he's immortal at Chelsea, and I will always, if given the opportunity, find ways to rightfully honour him.
Yep. I agree. Um, it's the least that we could do for a person, for an individual who has brought so much success to our club over the past 2 decades. So um, it's the least we can do. So he's staying. His emoji is staying.
Good.
Marina, I'm moving because I want to get an emoji that is going to be used by people. I've not seen anyone use the Marina emoji yet.
You know
I
what?
might
You know what
just,
I feel about that one. Her, Bruce Buck, all those Charlies.
yeah,
I think they're expendable, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. Um, Talking about the owners, what did you make of the way Todd Boehly, I can't believe I'm saying it, Todd Boehly
Todd,
was reacting,
yeah.
reacting to the game, the way he celebrated, the way he was disappointed when the goal was disallowed. How did you see that?
Honestly, Mo, Todd Boehly and co, they have a lot of work to do. It's very clear. And his tenure will be determined by how much he invests or they invest into the success of the club and the rebuilding of the new stadium. That's also very clear. But in as far as a man who is showing a willingness to be committed to the club, to the culture of the club, his public relations is second to none. I know people criticize, oh, Todd Boehly, why aren't you wearing a suit coming to? But Roman Abramovich didn't wear a suit to come to games. Let this man be who he is, in my opinion. He's there. He's interested in the games. He's beginning to pick up the emotions of the games. I don't know how much of football or soccer, as they will call it, that he understands, but he seems to understand a good
To be
deal.
fair, Bobby,
Yeah.
he uses the term football. He doesn't use the term soccer.
Well, there you go. He's embracing our culture.
Yeah.
So do you know what? I have the man knows how difficult the situation is to come into. Roman Abramovich is just Chelsea. He is immortal. The fans love the guy. The guy loves the club. So anybody trying to follow that act is going to have a problem, really. But this guy has done it correctly. He doesn't have any baggage as such that we know of. He is not arrogant. He's there taking pictures with the fans. He's not aloof. His first game we lost. The second game we threw away two goal lead and drew. I hear he's going to go to watch the Leeds game and continue watching the games till the end of the season. Rightly so. I think Todd Boehly is going to become a very, very serious Chelsea fan. He's not the entire ownership of the club, but as a face and as a leader of the consortium, honestly, I can't think of a better person in terms of what has been selected for the club. So I wish him luck. There's a lot of tests out there. He's got to lay out his board. I think that would be very telling as to who's going to be there. The transfer market is key for him. That was Roman's tool. He came in and he hit the transfer market mercilessly. But those times are different, sort of. But he can still do pretty much the same thing. I think you're right. TT is fatigued from a very difficult season on and off the pitch, bad planning, and I'm sure he's also looking forward to the end of the season. I'm just concerned, and I hope and I pray that somehow the guys can maintain this top four and then dig deep and find their way to Wembley, because we owe Liverpool a serious hiding, and I hope we just beat them and take that cup. You know, that should be a satisfactory season for us if we achieve that.
I agree. I agree. Guys in the chat, do me a favor. Keep your questions. Because I'm seeing some good questions and I want to address them. Can you repost your questions in about 10-15 minutes, because I want to start addressing more of your questions, but I want to hear from the guys first. If you want to jump on and ask a question, you're welcome to do so. But keep your questions for the next 15-20 minutes. We will be addressing them all together. Let me bring in Eric. Eric, welcome. I hope you're doing good. Your thoughts on the game today, mate?
Yeah, thanks for having me again. I'm disappointed that we threw away 3 points again. We were 2-0 up and we should have seen the game out, but the game was way too open, you know. We just are not, I think Couch said it in the comments, we don't, we cannot see games out any longer. We are, not conceding, we're conceding too many goals. We're not as solid as we were defensively, We don't control games the way we used to, which is why we keep conceding goals. And I was hoping that the situation with the ownership would help with the players' concentration, and it would help them focus and understand that there's a little bit of stability now, and that would help them to have enough to win the game. But not to be. It wasn't to be the case, and we dropped 2 points today. It's a disappointing situation, but I'm not going to now backtrack from what I said before the match started. I said it wasn't it was a must win based on what I want, but it wasn't a must win in terms of, we have to win or else we won't get top four. So we can still get top four, but it's just a little bit frustrating that it just keeps dragging on. We could have made this decisive. We could have seen top four a few weeks ago. But it's just unfortunate that we just have to keep waiting and waiting before we can focus on the final, because that's the match I'm looking forward to the most. Or maybe I shouldn't, because based on where the players have been playing, who knows if we can win that game. But let's see what happens for the rest of the season. Like Bobby was saying, the owners have a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm sure Todd Boehly knew he had a lot of work to do, but he really does. He probably has a lot more than maybe he thought he did. So
Eric, I'm gonna put a little bit of a twist on this. Had we not conceded those 2 goals, had the game finished 2-0, we would be talking about a great performance right now, correct?
I would be talking about a good performance from Lukaku specifically, but in terms of the whole game, I wouldn't say so, to be honest. From what I watched,
Okay.
yeah, I don't think it was a great performance.
The reason why I'm asking is this, because I think today, offensively, we did the business. Offensively, we did the business. Defensively, we were lacking. And that has been an issue for the past month or so. Defensively. Offensively, we could do better in regards to finishing, but we are creating. I mean, today, if Timo Werner just looked up before he passed the ball a couple of times, we would have easily concluded the game 4 or 5 goals up. All he had to do was look up. Lukaku, he made some great runs today. Timo Werner didn't do him justice. I'll be honest. Timo Werner today did not do justice by Lukaku. And the way the game was playing, the first half, yes, there was issues with the game, even the beginning of the second half. I was just thinking to myself, if only Timo Werner was to be a little bit more efficient in his passing, him and Lukaku could make a very, very good partnership. Oh, because Lukaku needs that runner next to him who can
Yeah.
who can create those opportunities and make space for him to run into. And Timo Werner did that, but he just did not pass that final ball,
I mean,
and
if
that is the
yeah,
problem. Yeah,
yeah, if Werner was better with his decision making, it would help a lot. If Pulisic was not as selfish, it would help, because he had a similar situation and he waited and waited, and then the ball was too, it was overhit. He had another chance with Werner, and I think he overhit that one as well. So I'm not going to just overlook it because he got the goal for the assist for Lukaku's second goal. The attacking is, yes, we're getting to right positions, but the players are not doing what they should be doing. And for me, Werner, he just doesn't have the quality we need. That's just the truth. I don't know why Chelsea fans don't want to admit it, and we are somehow, you know, dropping our standards so low just because Werner puts in a shift. I don't really follow that line of thinking. But there are a lot of issues with our team, and yes, when you score 2 goals, you expect to win a game. You shouldn't be expecting to concede 2 goals a game. And we've had this issue defensively at home, especially. We've been conceding a lot of goals at home, and Tuchel has one of the worst. I think he has the worst win percentage at home of any of our managers, which is
yeah,
very
it's
bad.
quite bad. It's quite bad. Yeah.
So I don't know what the reason is for that exactly, but it's very bad to see that, and obviously needs to be solved. And yes, I agree. This whole Tuchel being fatigued, tired. I think he's fed up with the rest with this season, and I am as well. If I'm being honest, with these poor performances, hopefully we get it another trophy. That's what I'm mainly looking forward to doing. But yes, when you score 2 goals, you should win the game. You shouldn't have to worry about, oh, we'll concede two as well, or we might concede even more. So that is a huge problem. But I want to just quickly talk about, I think maybe there's something to this, maybe there isn't, but it's interesting to me how last season we were so good defensively, but I think we scored like 25 goals in 19 games in the Premier League under Tuchel. And then this season, we're scoring more goals, but then all of a sudden, we're conceding more as well. Is that something to do with the squad, or is that Tuchel's lack of, correct management? I'm not sure.
I think it's the focus. Tuchel came in, Chelsea were leaking goals. When Tuchel came in, we were losing because we were leaking. So for him to go forward, he had to assure the defense. So the focus was on stopping goals from coming in. Clean sheets, clean sheets, clean sheets. He established that, and then he started to focus on the attack. We need to go back and focus a little bit more on the defense because we can't seem to do both at the same time. I don't know. We need to address that. We'll discuss that further. Let me bring in Hanu. Hanu, welcome to the show. I hope you're doing good. What's your thoughts on the game?
So, thank you for bringing me on again. Yeah, that I did a watch along for that game, and after that disallowed goal and everything, at halftime, I was trying. I was like, I messaged JP from the At a Time podcast. I was like, mate, I need someone with me because I can't handle this because it was such poor. This we should have scored at least one goal in that first half. And then also that second
We
half,
we did score, but it wasn't allowed.
we did
Do
we
you, do
scored
you, do you-
twice.
twice? In your opinion, should those goals have stood?
The team of Werner goal, the first team of Werner goal should have stood. And what I I'm new to football, I know, but I have
No,
never seen that Ruben Loftus-Cheek goal being called offside. Never.
yeah. I mean, if it takes them 15 minutes to decide whether it's offside or onside,
Then
that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot in regards to that decision. Yeah. You predicted a 3-1 result. When it was 2-1, I was thinking, if we get one more goal and Hanu prediction becomes right, it's World Cup or something. But it didn't work out that way. So unlucky when it comes to that.
I
Le-
I was
yeah, go
like
on.
I was like, come on, just get the goal. And Timo Werner for me was our best attacker. I know Lukaku scored 2 goals, but Timo Werner played excellent. And I didn't have him picked, honestly. For those who picked him, big up to you. You saw what he could have done, but I thought Pulisic should have started, and he did. And he's not Chelsea. He's not made for Chelsea. He was, in
Yeah,
my opinion, he was poor.
I gotta disagree with you, mate. I gotta disagree with you. I think Pulisic did all right. I think Timo Werner was very wasteful. But he did a lot of good things. Don't get me wrong. He did a lot of good things, but it was his final pass. His final pass. He created the opportunities. He did those runs. He opened up space, but his final pass. He doesn't look up when he does it. When he passes it, sometimes he shoots when he should pass. Sometimes he passes when he should shoot, and he needs to get his decision making a little bit better. Pulisic, playing just behind Lukaku and Werner was very interesting to see him in that role. I think he did okay. He could have been a lot worse. Let me bring in Boogeyman. Boogeyman, welcome. How are you? And what's your take on the game?
Yeah, finally we have an owner. So let's just focus on the game. I'm happy today that that decision has been made. Um, Now we turn to our managers and players. Um, Today's game for me it should have been an easy win. And again, it's the old Chelsea, especially Chelsea under Tuchel. Um, our game management is one of the most how do you say this? I don't know. My issue is we know this team when even when we don't score goals, we seem to leak goals. And so my question is, when we actually manage to score one, two, or three goals, what exactly is the process going through our managerial our managers and assistant mind? What is it? We, we Chelsea, we've used to see Jose Mourinho when we lead in 2-0, 3-1. Jose Mourinho calling Obi Mikel, calling this Claude Michael and putting them at 70, 60 something minutes because that's time to at least play and hold up the goal and win the game. We
Boogie, I'm going
took,
to interrupt you for 1 second. That is the mentality that wins you leagues. That is the mentality that
but we
wins you
yeah
leagues.
exactly.
Yeah, because
What?
carry on,
Sorry,
carry
sorry,
on,
go
carry
on,
on.
go on. Sorry, sorry. Finish.
I was just gonna say, Jose Mourinho, his mindset is how do I get the results? I want the result. Yeah, once I'm in the lead, that's it. I'm closing the windows. I'm closing the doors. I'm parking the bus. I'm parking the jumbo jet. I'm parking everything. That is
Simple as
it.
that. When you
Simple
when
as
you
that.
leading 2 goal or 3 goals to nil or 2 goals to it's just simple. We need the point. I just don't see anything for our managers or our assistant. Nothing's changed. We keep committing our midfielder. We keep committing everybody. The first goal today was Thiago Silva that run with the ball, lost the ball close to Kovacic. Kovacic has the ball. Instead of Kovacic think that okay, Thiago Silva is not behind me. Kovacic trying to dribble 1v1. You lost the ball when you are supposed to be the defensive midfielder and you know your center back is in front of you. Why would you even try to dribble? So the fact that Tuchel I don't know what's going on with that. Our managers and our assistant. We're winning 2-0. The worst that can happen is 2-1, but at least we're still keeping the 3 point. We Chelsea are used to changing system when we know we need a 3 point just to move on with our life. We play good 70, 60 something minutes. Now time to close the shop. Let's just take the 3 point, go home. No, we keep playing the same stupidity. Running with the ball, losing the ball, chasing the ball, losing the ball. What's going on? I mean, I understand when we know when we 0-0 till like the 70, and you keep committing the entire team to attack, 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 attack. But when we're winning 2-0, what are we doing? We need those 3 points. We're not playing around. Same happened against Real Madrid. We were winning 3-0. We only need 3-1 to go to penalty. We were winning 3-0. Tuchel didn't change anything. We're still committing the entire team. Attack, 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 attack. What's going on? I don't understand it. Listen, we know this team has been through a lot this season. COVID, all those Ukrainian war, and all those we have to lose we lost our owner, all those things. But come on, man, show something, show some tactical discipline, show something that you'll do. I just don't see anything from our coach. So everybody keep blaming Lukaku, and I mean me. I want Lukaku gone, but if we were to accept Tuchel mistakes, then we have to allow Lukaku also to stay next season. We can blame everything on the fact that this season was not a great one. We can blame everything on how do you say this? We can blame everything on the sales and on COVID. We can blame everything on injuries and just say, okay, let's just keep the entire team for next season and try it again. But if we want to go after each player or player that does not perform, look, Tuchel is not making too many mistakes, especially in the last few games. Tuchel making too many mistakes. I cannot take it.
Boogie, what you're saying, I'm agreeing with 100%. I'll let you come in. I'm agreeing with you 100%. I'm agreeing with you 100% on every single thing you said. My issue is this. Why is this happening? Because Tuchel is not a bad manager. No one here is saying he's a bad manager. But these are errors, and you are spot on. The Champions League performance against Real Madrid, the players did everything they were supposed to do. They played out of their skin. Tactically, we weren't sound. Once we had the game in our grasp, Tuchel should have stepped in and should have influenced it in a tactical nature, because the players on the pitch, they were giving it their all, but they weren't given the guidance to close up shop.
Simple as that.
And against Real Madrid, it's a tough opponent. Today, with all due respect to Wolves, we should have been able to walk away with the 3 points today. And for me, Tuchel made mistakes. Now, the issue is why. Is it because of the ownership situation? He says no. He says, when it first happened, we did well. I think it was 6 wins on the trot when the whole thing started to come out. And so that can't be it. Is it his personal situation? I personally think there is something happening behind the scenes that we are not aware of. It might be his personal situation. It might be something else that is happening within the team. And a question was posed. And I'm going to pose this question today because I am starting to wonder. Why isn't Hakim Ziyech given more playing time? Because when he was injured, that's fine. He got back to fitness and he started to play and he started to perform. Hakim Ziyech, every single game that he started, I think it was 3 games or 4 games back to back he started, he put in man of the match performances in each one of those games. And then all of a sudden, change of formation, change of system, change of tactic, and he was pushed out of the team. And he wasn't pushed out of the team for bad performances. He was pushed out of the team, brought in a couple of times as a sub. And when I say as a sub, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes in that game, you can't expect him to contribute in 10 minutes or 5 minutes in a game. Not a contribution of any real value. So why is that? Why is he making those errors? Why did Manning Sarr come on today and not Chalobah?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, there are these little things that kind of confuse me, and I don't understand why.
people are going to say, I'm sure someone going to say, oh, we don't have enough defensive midfield. We've seen Zuma coming under Mourinho when we were winning, just to put like more physicality in front of our defense. I just don't see Tuchel taking anything or doing anything, even close to, like, try something and show us we will try to keep those 2 goals. And at the end, the opponent has to do something more, at least to score 1 goal, and we end up with 2-1. Mourinho have done it many times. Even Conte doing stuff like that. But Tuchel, I just don't understand. It seems like that guy just sat there, one way of going. We win, we happy. We don't win, he has no solution until we get out of the game.
I think in Tuchel's
Um,
defense, I know Bobby wants to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very
um,
quickly. In Tuchel's defense, I think he deserves, from what we've seen from him so far, he deserves to have his own players. So once he's out, a few transfer windows, then I would be able to judge him. Obviously you can still judge him now, but I would be more free to criticize him for the decisions he's making.
yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to go down that route. There's one thing I don't accept. And by the way, before I go to that, I don't know who that kid is. What's his name? Big A. Yeah, he's a cool kid. I like him. Well done, son. Good to have you on board. Where's he from?
South
The
Africa.
Australian. Oh, right.
South Africa.
Okay. All right. What I don't accept is this sort of I don't know whether it's short memory. I don't know whether it's a lack of realization of the circumstance. Now, before we start to talk about Tuchel's tactical this, that, or the other, he doesn't park the bus when he should do, and so on. Let's put this into the correct perspective. This is a man that has been pulling rabbits out of the hat for months. He had a squad that, after winning the Champions League, our friend Marina and co weakened the squad rather than strengthened it. Back in the day, we would have the likes of Zuma to bring into midfield. It's now history what happened with the Rudiger contract, such that now we have a player who, after being hyper motivated to play for the club, is now just waiting for the season to end. We had ample opportunities to bring in players to replace aging players. I mean, the likes of Aspie. And rather than keep our best youth players or academy players in the squad, she turfed them out for financial reasons to places on loan and brought in the likes of Saul Niguez and kept hold of what's his name? Barkley, that's right.
Yeah, Ross Barkley.
So the planning from the start was faulty. We had no backup for Ben Chilwell. And just like in a Twitter chat with Monster just earlier that I hopped onto, it's quite clear that what was happening in terms of like our scouting and the team for the next season is interference from the board. And I will name her, I don't care what anybody says, namely Marina, in terms of playing staff. Oh, we need a CDM. No, we don't. Let's get a striker, because if we spend money on a striker, that's where our problem is. Oh, we need a defender. No, we don't. Let's get rid of this one first, and then we can get the other one.
Can we have everyone on mute if you're not talking, please?
Yeah. Whoops!
Go ahead, Bobby.
Suddenly they've raised the price, and we're struggling to get hold of the one we want. Blunder after blunder after blunder after blunder. And because of politics, people are so terrified Oh, we can't. It's not her fault. It is her effing fault. And that's why I want her and the rest of the board gone. Because by default, we have an opportunity to start afresh. Todd Boehly, so far, in terms of his relationship with fans, it's been immaculate. But I think what will make or break the Boehly consortium is not only the coming summer transfer market, but those that they will put in the board to steer the club forward. And if they will have the nous to bring in a sporting director and give them charge over the players that come in, I don't know. Time will tell. But that's the root cause of what we're seeing now. Fatigue. Who knows, whether there's issues between players and manager. I don't care because there are always issues between players and manager. Oh, you think it's smooth sailing at Liverpool with this guy? What's the Belgian guy that comes off the bench, scores goals, and then you don't even see
Origi.
him? He's sat in the stands for weeks on
Origi.
end. There's
Origi.
always going to be players disgruntled. There's always going to be good players not playing in big clubs. Chelsea, Man City, Man United, Real Madrid. There will always be people who are excellent players, but they're clicking their heels
Just
on the
just a head,
bench.
just a heads up. Tottenham are 1-0 up against Liverpool.
Well, there you go. That's
Wow,
that
that's
just about
huge.
sums up the weekend.
Honestly,
So
I'm
you
very happy
know,
about that. Actually,
it's 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 normal. Oh, you think Isco is happy to be coming off the bench? Isco that will walk into the first team of most teams in Europe? This is normal. The issue is that the planning in the beginning was the problem. So I hold judgment on anything to do with Thomas Tuchel until, as Eric says, he has his own players, and until we have a new board and give him a fighting chance. Because I sort of feel this guy doesn't have the tools to work with. I really do. If you ask him, okay, who are you going to bring off the bench? In great teams, great players change games. When we had the likes of Hazard, we could be having an absolute stinker. And then Hazard will suddenly come up with some magic and we win the game. We don't have that at the moment. We used to have people like Giroud on the bench who could come in and suddenly do something. Even Tammy Abraham. We don't have that. We got rid of them. In midfield, Chelsea has always been screaming for physicality, players that could actually win the ball, stop this backward passing and this unnecessary legacy of Sari ball. We've been crying out for it. What did we do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If anything, got rid of somebody that may have helped, although I don't think he was that good. I don't think he was ready yet. But at least he would have been better than what we have now in Jorginho. And I'm talking about Billy Gilmore. So there's been a cacophony of errors that is just beginning to wear us down now. And it was very telling from what Tuchel said when they asked him to talk about the managerial situation. And he said, it's not over yet. It will only be over when the sanctions is lifted. The subtext of that statement is, please, the only time I'm going to breathe easy is when we can get into the transfer market. That's what's happening right now,
Yep.
lads.
Yeah. No, transfer market is key. With new owners, we definitely need to see some activity in the transfer market. Hanu, I saw your hands up. I'll let you come in 1 second. I want to say hello to Olu and hear from him, and then I'll come back to you, Hanu. Olu, big up to you. Welcome to the stream. How are you? It's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good.
Give me your thoughts on the game, mate. Give me your thoughts on the game.
Oh, thank you. My thoughts on the game. Honestly, I just watched just the second half. I was very excited seeing Lukaku score 2 goals. The second goal was, well improvised. I love the way he took the goal. Um, going forward, I think, looking at our team, this has been a trend. There's been a trend with regarding how we've been playing. We concede silly goals. a lot of errors. Something is not right. I know people could give excuse with regarding, oh, some players are tired. Well, let's be real, yeah. Like, where's the fatigue from? I'm going to start from someone like Lukaku. Lukaku really hasn't played so much. So when people say our players are tired, I don't understand. Timo Werner as well. He hasn't really played a lot this season. He wasn't starting. If you look at the beginning of the season, Loftus-Cheek that played today, come on, he's a French player. So where's the fatigue from? So like
I'm
I
gonna,
don't
I'm,
understand.
I'm gonna interject. I'm gonna interject. Like I said today, the attacking portion of the game was very, very well managed. Issues with Timo Werner's final ball, but apart from that, Pulisic, Werner, Lukaku, these guys who haven't really had that much of game time, they looked fresh. It's the defenders, the likes of Thiago Silva, the likes of Edouard Mendy, the likes of Rudiger. These are the guys who are fatigued. These are the guys who are tired. If you look at how many games Thiago Silva has played this season, and when you take into context his age, then I don't know how he's doing it.
Agreed.
Rudiger, I think he's played literally every game. I think he's like missed 3 or 4 games the whole season. I mean, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of game time. Aspilicueta, he's an old man. Let's have it right. I mean, the guy.
Agreed.
So that is the aspect that was concerning and has been concerning over the past few weeks. Attacking wise, nah, they look fresh. They look good.
Yeah, that also brings a question to Tuchel's, management of the team as well. If the defenders are pretty tired, why hasn't he used the players like, what's his name, Chaloba?
Yeah.
There's a question mark there. Why is he not using him? Why are you not rotating using Christensen? So I know a lot of people don't like to say this, but Tuchel has been fantastic. But I think looking at this season, there's some decisions he got wrong. I'm still optimistic. We're gonna do better going forward. But it's just we've been very poor of late. We've been very poor, and I know a lot of people talk about the ownership. Ownership needs to do more. I think the coach and the players need to do more as well. Let's be real. So a lot of our players, they need to up their game. Some of them lack the quality. Enough of saying, "Oh, Boehly has to come in and spend." What we have on ground, they can do better. That's all I know. They can do better, and
Do
I'm
you
going forward.
Sure. Do you want Bowley to spend Olu, or do you want him to do something else? Do you want him to I don't know, go for a long term approach by developing the academy even further, introducing a more diverse youth scouting system, or do you think he should go for marquee signings and bring in someone,
I
at
don't
least
think
one
with
or two
look,
big names?
looking at
How do you
Chelsea
want?
history, Maki
Yeah.
signing doesn't work for us. What we
Okay.
have on ground, our players are pretty young. I think Tuchel can really work hard with our players and try to improve them better. And going forward, the ownership can inject a couple of funds to help improve certain players, certain positions. We can do better with our players. Their decision making at the front is poor, very poor. Midfield, I think we need to strengthen there. Midfield is a big problem for us. We need to spend money in midfield. You can see Jorginho and Kante didn't play. Loftus-Cheek is good on the ball, but man, his positioning is terrible. I like him, but we can't go with Loftus-Cheek going into next season. We need more physical strength in there. We can't see off games. Someone was talking about during the days of Jose Mourinho. He brings in the player like John Obi Mikel. The game is won. We don't have this kind of players in our team. Players you can trust, that Tuchel can trust. It's very
Olu,
painful and sad.
Olu, can I interject? When you say we don't have player like Obi Mikel or Maciek to bring on, you know what I will do if I was Tuchel? I will bring Ada Christensen on and push Rich James in the middle just to protect it. There always solution if you want it. If that's what in your mind, you will find a player that can reinforce the defensive midfield position, bring more physicality, and put one on the other side. Tuchel just
Agree.
does not think that way. That's my problem.
But I think if he
Boogie,
does that,
hold on, Olu. That is exactly what Tuchel was doing last season. When Tuchel came last season, he was doing that, and he was changing things about so often. We could not. I mean, we could not even predict a starting 11. If we predicted a starting 11 and we had 2 or 3 players, we'd be like, yeah, that's a good prediction. 2 or 3 players, right? Because he was always chopping and changing. Now, I guess he did that because he's trying to get to know the players and get to know their abilities in certain areas. But at the same time, when you rotate in that way, when you try to think outside the box, you're going to cause the opponents problems. And you guys watched that game. Did you see how hard it was for them to decide on a substitution? Their coach was, he's got COVID and he's in the office. They were on the phone with him, deciding who should come on, who should go off. I mean, they were having issues. We should have had this game tactically done and dusted, but we didn't. And that for me is not the Tuchel of last season. And this is why I'm saying there are areas, and it's unfortunate, but there are areas that there are things happening to him away from football that I think I've just taken his mind off things. And I hope he fixes them and I hope he sorts them out, because it's not nice. It's not nice for us to have this shadow over us. Let me bring in Hanu. Hanu had his hands up for a while. Hanu, what do you wanna say, mate? Hanu?
I think he's.
Oh, sorry, referring to me?
No,
No.
Hanu.
Okay.
I think
Anyways, he's okay. Yeah, listen. I understand. I understand when we said the transfer market or the player we have available are not the top quality. So my question to those fans that keep blaming Marina and the board for the job they did during the transfer market is: do they want 22 top quality player for Chelsea to win games? No, it's never going to happen. We have actually good players to seek out certain games. When we're winning 3-0, when we're winning 2-0, I just don't see any reason why we should blame Marina for those type of losses. We actually scored the goals, so it's not about the opponent is too good for us. It's not about this. No, like Olu said at the beginning, like talking about player being tired. No, I understand when during the COVID we have to play 1, 2, 3, 4 player many times, but now we don't have that much games anyways, and they have time to rest. A games every 2, 3, no, every 4 days or every. That's I think that's what all professional can do, and I'm not sitting here saying Marina has done a good job. I'm not sitting here saying Bruce Buck or whoever is in charge of our transfer policy or transfer signing or renew our contract or sending our player to loan. I'm not here saying they did any good job. But again, with the team we have, come on, man. We just need a little bit of someone to organize the team better. That's all it is. And I don't want anybody to think I want to go out. I'm not to go out. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
but I just think something has changed. Sometimes that guy is just not awake enough, and I'm having a problem with that.
One second, Bobby. I'm not Tuchel out. No way am I Tuchel out. I want Tuchel to be here for the next 2-3 seasons, and I want to see him build and develop our team further. I want to see some consistency in our team. I don't want to see this, rotating door of managers. Every other season swapping a manager for another one. I don't want to see that. I want to see Tuchel being given the opportunity and the chance. But I'm just pointing out the areas that I think needs to be addressed. Before I go to Bobby, people in the chat, do me a favor. Write the word question, hyphen, and then put your question in the chat. If you want us to address your question, because I'm trying to figure out what questions are you guys sending to each other and what questions you want me or the panel to answer. So if you want us to answer your question, put the word question, hyphen, and then enter the question, and then we will address it here on the panel. And I haven't asked you guys to like the stream yet, and we're on 83 likes already, so thank you for doing that. Really appreciate it. Continue to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Hanu, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
Sorry.
right, Hanu, I'll come back to you in 1 second. I'm just going to listen to Bobby. I'll come back to you because I addressed you a second ago. You weren't answering, so there
Yeah,
might have been a
I was
connection
just
issue.
speaking.
Yeah, we'll come back to you in a second, Hanu. Bobby, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that things could be better, regardless of the fact that Tuchel has been pulling rabbits out of the hat all season. The season isn't over yet, and he still has some decisions to make in game. That's clear. But when the tools you have to work with is somebody like Christensen, who we all know his mind is in Barcelona and he's not interested in playing and risking injury. And now somebody like Rudiger, who has been frustrated out of waiting for a new contract, and now his mind is more or less on Real Madrid. And all we have is a 38-year-old centre back who we are forced to play two, sometimes probably three times a week. This is why we're struggling. Now, they got rid of Zuma, who did want to play for us, who wasn't asking for any extra in wages and would have been with us now. Yes, sometimes he makes a few mistakes, but then so does Christensen, and he's good enough. Then people ask, well, why doesn't he play Chalobah? Why doesn't he play Chalobah? Well, these are the things that we don't really know. Clearly, there's a reason. Chalobah had quite a few injuries, and I suspect that it is his injuries that is making him be used sparingly. I just want to give that benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's 100% able to fire on all cylinders. And I think he's being protected for whatever reason. Then there's the issue of Hakim Ziyech. That is a mystery to me. I don't know, but you and I both know that Hakim Ziyech is somebody that can blow hot and cold. So who knows what's going on there? All will be revealed at the end of the season and the transfer market, because clearly there are players that will leave, and I'm saying more than the ones we know, and there has to be players to come in. We're in a deficit in the defense as it is, and we're certainly in a deficit in midfield. Will they address it? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be extremely key, because I think that's what the problem is. You look at even a team like Spurs, in terms of squad depth, they have more squad depth than we do. You know, it's hard to admit it, but it's true, and it's showing now. So, I just think, we've just come to that point where there's been mismanaged things that has finally caught up with us. Plus, we have to remember playing what? We're already on what, about 59, 60 games for these guys, several of these games, 120 minutes plus penalties. With some of the old guys we have in the team, that's a lot of games. And most of them played most of those games, including the likes of Thiago, people like Alonso, even Aspie. It's a bridge too far for many of them.
Yep. Just a heads up, Tottenham, Liverpool are 1-1. Luis Diaz scored to equalise. If it finishes in a draw, I think that will be a madness for both sides.
Very unlikely.
Well, yeah, but listen, Liverpool could turn this around. I mean, they got 15 minutes. They could score another couple of goals, I reckon. Before I go to Hanu, there's a couple of questions in the chat. I'm going to address them. The Added Time podcast. I think you got a typo in this question. When you have Arteta getting a contract renewal, how can anyone say TT should be sacked? Who is available to replace him? No one is saying TT should be sacked, and if anyone is saying TT should be sacked, they're mistaken, or they're undermining or underestimating what Thomas Tuchel is all about. Yeah, I think Thomas Tuchel is one of the best managers in the league, but he's currently having somewhat of a hard time. That's all that is being pointed out here. Couch critic, big up to Couch. Why does Tuchel not have a defensive method to see out games? He does have a defensive method. He's just not implementing it at the moment. Defensive tactics seem to be trying to score more rather than see out the match. It depends. If you're able to score on a regular basis, definitely. If you're a Liverpool, but if you're a Chelsea who have a hard time scoring, you might want to show up your defense before thinking about scoring or outscoring your opponents. And obviously, we haven't done either of those recently. Hanu, take it away, brother. What you want to say?
Okay, so I have listened to everyone, and I take a bit of both from the both sides. Yes, Tuchel hasn't had all that he wants. He has got bit of players from Surrey, has got bit of players from Lampard, bit of players from Conte. So he hasn't had his full team to um like implement
Develop
his
and build.
style. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he has now over a year, so I expect him to have a defensive style, need and how to see out games. Because if we didn't have a style to um, see out games, we wouldn't have seen out that the Champions League final game. That's so because City was relentless in the last 10-15 minutes of that game. So we have a style of defending, but because we are so more attacking, because we don't have a natural DM like a Chumini, like a Declan Rice, like any DM you want, Basuma, who is that engine room, who's got pace, who knows how to pick out passes, who knows how to intercept passes. Because we don't have um, someone like that, when we play more attacking football, our defense lacks. Because you look at the first goal, we didn't have no midfield. Though it was a great shot from outside the box, but how did they have that much space? Nice. That's and um, to us the At a Time podcast to answer your question, there isn't anyone to replace him unless he wants Pochettino, and I don't think anyone wants him. And I don't think there's
Hanu,
anyone else.
I have a question for you. How old are you again?
15 and 14
15.
turning 15.
15, 14, turning 15. And you haven't been watching football for a very long time, correct?
Yeah, I started lockdown.
Lockdown. Boy, can you imagine in about 5, 6 years what this lad is going to be talking about? I know, I really, really admire your way of thinking and the way you're approaching this. Big up to you. Big up to you. Spot on in respect to the way we conceded that goal. We did give them too much space, and that's a defensive error. That's a defensive error that we have been having. I'm going to try to answer some of these questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the question and pose it to a member of the panel to address, so we'll get as many questions answered as possible. The first question I'm going to give to Eric Blue. Eric Blue, this is the question for you. Why does Tuchel make our defenders to play from the back when we keep making silly mistakes from the back? Eric Blue, give me your answer to this. Eric Blue, you
Sorry, my
there?
mic was my mic was muted.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool.
Yeah, look. So, right, this is not a problem from what I've seen. We can play out from the back. We have done so very effectively a lot of times. So I don't think that's a problem. Even on that Sarri, Chelsea were playing out from the back. So I don't really see how this is all of a sudden such a big problem. The reason why the players are making mistakes is not because of trying to play out from the back. I think you can look at other reasons. You can look at many things to look, to suggest why, there are so many individual errors. But I don't think playing out from the back is a problem. And Tuchel does it because that's the way he wants to play. He wants us to control the game. All the modern managers, they all play out from the back. That's what they like to do. It helps us keep the ball, keep possession. It helps us build attacks. So that's just normal. So the mistakes we're making are not connected to playing out from the back for me.
All right, fantastic. Next question, I'm gonna pose to Bobby. Bobby, the question for you is: do you think Thomas Tuchel is not trusting these players who have let us down time and time again? They are just not up for it mentally. I think teams don't fear us and don't have players to kill games off. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm inclined to agree. I think the way he spoke about Lukaku, not giving so much praise to him for the one good performance he's had, is an example of that. The fact that he's not playing certain players is an example of that. Are they doing what he asks them to do when they come on the field? I mean, we've seen this with Jose Mourinho, where, when a player doesn't do what he wants, you find out that he just wouldn't play them. So I think there are several players in that team that he doesn't trust. We're looking for midfielders. We have Saul sat on the bench. Why? He's not good enough. He doesn't trust him. We're looking for a left centre back. We have Sarr sat on the bench. Why? He doesn't trust him. So there's a lot of unnecessary players that do not add to the depth of the squad. They're just there. They're just bodies. And, the question that Boogeyman posed, can you have 22 excellent players? Well, you can have 22 players that are good enough to stand in for each other. Look at Liverpool. They get Luis Diaz come in. So whenever they're without Firmino or whoever else it is they have in their front line, Diaz comes in and does the exact same job. Right through their attack, through their defense, they have an abundance. Is it Van Dijk? Is it what's the Cameroonian guy? Is it also Canute? Is it they have a multiplicity of excellent players. We don't. We have a 38-year-old man, God bless him, as good as he is, full stop. We've got another one that wants to leave, and another one that wants to leave, and a young'un that's carrying some kind of injury and still recovering. Full stop. All the rest, we ship them out. Thank you, Marina. I will blame her. I've told you guys that when it came to the point where we lose Rudiger, I will give this woman no mercy. I will hold her accountable. I don't care whose ox is gored. She is a major part of the problem that we have today. And I can't wait to see the back of her.
All right. I love how you always twist everything to Marina. You have a knack of doing that. Fantastic.
I promised you I'm after her now. I told you if she drops this ball, that's it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but I mean,
Next
listen, losing
next
Rudiger,
question.
that's crazy. That one is crazy.
I'm coming to you there, in a second, Boogie. I'm going to give this question to Olu. Olu, what do you think about Paul Pogba? He could be leaving Man United on a free. I'm guessing the question is in regards to Chelsea Football Club. What's your opinion on this, Olu?
So that's which carrying Paul Pogba.
Yep.
Honestly, I don't think he's a player we need at Chelsea. You know,
Okay.
he's got all the attributes. I don't think he's the right profile midfield player we need in Chelsea. And nah, I don't think Paul Pogba is gonna do wonders in Chelsea. Yeah, he can go to City, he can go to PSG, or Real Madrid. I think we should be looking for some kind of different midfielder. For Man United, Pogba coming to Man United, leaving at the second time for free. It's a disappointment, you know, with the amount spent on him. Um, I think he could have done better for Man United, to be honest, with his skill sets and his ability. But I don't think the United fans will be you know will indeed rate Paul Pogba as a great midfielder. When he eventually leaves. But for Chelsea, if he was to come to Chelsea, I don't think we need a player like Paul Pogba. So he can go somewhere else, not Chelsea. That's just my
All
take.
right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give this next question to Boogeyman. Boogeyman, the question for you is: given the new owner's attendance, do you think Tuchel, in some weird message, and certainly a gamble, played Saw and Saul and Werner as a message to say, "Hey, look what I have to work with"? Is he trying to tell the owners, you guys are going to be needing to spending some money here? Do you think there's a subliminal message in the way we play today?
He will be stupid to try to.
Direct. I love it. We'll be
Yeah,
direct.
yeah, he will be stupid to trying to do something like that. Because I'm pretty sure he just have the Liverpool game in his mind. I think so. That's why he decided to rest Mount and Mount Havers and whoever you think he's resting. And at one point, I will agree. I mean, I saw Saul and Werner. Listen, Werner today was good. Of course, he was no Ronaldinho, or he was no to create all those assists or pass the ball when he has to time his passes and all those things. Yeah, but the standard Werner showed today was good enough to win this game today. When it comes to Saar, he really didn't really start the game. I think he played only 20 something minutes. Saul also came in and I think he came in. Oh, did Saul start the game? No, he came in for Alonso,
Alonso.
right? Good. So I don't think Tuchel was in that mindset to show anything to anybody. I mean, if the player that need to be replaced, we all know them. Like it's not even if Todd Boehly is an actual Chelsea fan and he been following Chelsea, he knows exactly where the problem is. He knows the player that we don't want to see at Chelsea or the player that deemed not to be at Chelsea level. He knows. So I don't think Tuchel needs to show anything. And I'm pretty sure those people are talking. And Tuchel will have a time to actually talk to Todd Boehly when he has his meeting with him. So no, I disagree with this. If that's what Tuchel was trying to do, he will end up losing this job. If he's trying to show anything to someone to just sabotage his own game, it doesn't work at Chelsea for sure. But I don't think what he is doing anyways.
All right. I have a question for Hanu. Hanu, it looks like Liverpool and Tottenham are going to finish 1-1. Do you think Man City has won the title?
No, because they're losing tomorrow. They're
Okay.
losing tomorrow for free. They're losing.
Well, Newcastle, I think they're playing tomorrow, aren't they?
Yeah,
Man City.
they're losing against Newcastle.
Listen, Hanu, is it? Are you a Chelsea fan?
Yeah,
Okay, good. Because yeah, that's my first time to see you here, so just wondering. So you're
Well,
a real Chelsea fan.
he was here, I think. Yes, Hanu, you were here yesterday, wasn't you?
yes,
Yeah,
Yesterday.
he
yeah,
was here yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
yeah,
Uh, do you mind if I ask how old are you? Or, I mean, if you don't want to answer, that's fine.
I'm 14. I'm turning 15 in November.
You're lovely, man. It's really good to have young Chelsea fan, man. Because listen, we need youngsters. We need youngsters. We need young mind on this panel, man.
Boogeyman, they're the best fans, When
I
I
know.
was 14, 15, I was mad Chelsea. Mad Chelsea. So
Yo,
that's the right age.
Yeah, look, I
100%.
don't.
Welcome, man.
Yeah,
Anytime you
honestly,
have
yeah, big
time,
up,
come and
big up.
free your mind here. Yeah.
I don't really miss those times, to be honest, because when I was that age, I wasn't. I was a little bit too into it. Let's put it like that. And whenever a loss happened, that was a horrible day, man. So
Yeah. You and me both.
yeah,
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, I said this a few days ago. Just bear with me 1 second. I need to find the link. Because if I ask Hanu to give me his link, he will take forever. So I'm going to try to find it. Here we go. Okay, so a few days ago, if you guys were on my stream, and I think most of you guys here were on my stream, I said to you, there are small channels out there that you need to be watching and listening to. And it isn't about big channels with thousands of subscribers and whatnot. People like Hanu, they need your support. They need you to help them grow as a channel. I would love to see Hanu hit 1,000 subscribers and getting views, and everyone will look and see a young Chelsea YouTuber talking sense, while there's big accounts that are not talking. So do me a favor, people. I want to see this channel hit 100 subscribers quick. I know a lot of you have already subscribed to Hanu's channel, but for those of you who haven't, the link is in the chat. Click on it and show some love to his channel. I have someone jumping on, JPT. JPT, hello, how are ya? Welcome to the channel.
Good, good. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, and give me your opinion on the game today. I have a feeling you and Hanu know each other. Am I
Yeah,
right? All right. I had a
yeah,
feeling.
big supporter of him. Been saying it every time I'm on his channel. This guy is a young genius. Keep a lookout for him. Fabrizio Romano wishes he had his knowledge at this age. But I'm gonna go and answer your first question with saying that I'm from the States, the United States, and honestly, I was watching the first half. I had to drive, but jumped on Hanno's live stream and kept me updated. Makes me kind of happy I didn't watch that game because it was just a nightmare of a performance from Chelsea, but not surprising if I'm were to be honest.
How do you feel about the new ownership, the Todd Boehly consortium coming in to take over Chelsea Football Club? How do you feel about it?
I would be lying if I said that the Bullies were my first choice. I'm sure a lot of people were wishing that the Saudis were still the favorites, but I think it's just kind of closes the chapter in this whole circus act of like this whole drama of who's going to be the new owners, what's gonna happen to Chelsea, is going to be under administration, is it, like all the nonsense. So I'm just happy that we finally have a face that's pretty much at the finish line as Chelsea's new owner. Not the most ideal start, and if and I'm just thinking about the question that if was this a message to Bowley's like look what I'm dealing with. I'm sure he has his number. He could have just been like, I need help. I don't need to drop 2 points to
Subliminal
make a
messages.
statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I'm like I said, I'm happy that it's finally an owner. Just yes, American owner, not the most not the best history in EPL, but it's something.
All right, fantastic. Well, listen, stick around. We're going to be live for a little while yet. I want to ask a question to everyone here on the panel, and from this point onwards, don't wait for me to ask you to come in. It's going to be an open discussion. The question is as follows. Gov, it's Hanu, not Onu. That'll be Hanno. Hanno. The question I have for all of you lads is this. Romelu Lukaku today put in a man of the match performance. Romelu Lukaku's performance was the best that we've seen for a very long time. His attitude to the second goal, the goal that pretty much took the points away from us, showed a lot of disdain, a lot of discomfort to be in that position after what he did on the pitch. The way the crowd reacted to him and the way that he acknowledged the crowd after he scored the penalty and the fantastic right-footed drive, even though he's a left-footed striker. It shows that Romelu Lukaku still has it within him to put in a shift for Chelsea. It shows that he still has it within him love and respect for this club. Even though he made some mad mistakes with the interview, with the way he handled himself in and around that interview. Do you guys think, and I've asked this question to many fans, and we all have a negative look at this, but is it crazy for us to think that Romelu Lukaku may still be able to turn it around? He may still have something in within him to be our striker next season? Or do you guys think that ship has way gone? Has it sailed? And that is open to all of you, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. So
I'm gonna start with this one, guys, because I said a few times before that Lukaku is done at this club. I think
you still think that?
No. I think he has a chance. Yeah. So it's like I said before, it's up to him. If he improves the performances and he shows us something, then he might be able to come back from this. But I really do think he has a chance, especially with the new ownership. I think he has a chance. Yeah.
What does he need to do? What does he need to do?
He needs to convince Tuchel to play him more. That's the first thing. And then obviously when he's playing, he needs to have more impact, score a goal, give an important assist, and things like that will help him, The fans were chanting his name today. So that's a very wow. I'm surprised about that, I have to be honest. But that's good. That means that City will win the title. Like I was saying, City won't drop any points, man.
No, don't.
Okay, just keep watching. Okay, keep watching, Boogie. You'll see. Yeah, so as I was saying, Lukaku has a chance. I think he can come back. And first of all, he needs to convince Tuchel on the training ground. And when he's playing in the games, he needs to give the fans a reason to back him. And if they keep chanting his name like they did today, then he has every chance to stay at the club.
All right. Anyone else?
Listen, Lukaku ship is gone. And that ship has sink. Titanic, we got him back. We got the Titanic back, right? I don't think we can get the Lukaku ship back. That ship is gone. I mean, people are saying he scored 2 goals, but his overall performance is just as bad as what he used to give us before today. Like all the work that Timo was doing around Lukaku, Timo lost the ball after chasing it. Lukaku does not try to back up Timo or fight for the ball or anything. He just point and walk. What now, man? Listen, that's what Chelsea fan we Chelsea fan we do most of the time. Lukaku put up half decent performance, then we're all screaming, yeah, he's back. Who is back? Stop this nonsense. The guy is not good enough for Chelsea. He has to go. I don't want to see him next season. I'm not a manager. I'm not the owner. If you ask me like you asked me tonight, that guy has to go. No more Lukaku. We have no how do you say? I'll start speaking French. We have no 1 centimeter of I don't. Yo, we have
Inch,
no patience.
inch.
We cannot handle
No
Lukaku.
patience.
Zero, no more. Lukaku can play the next few games till the end, but please, man, leave the club.
So you're
Ye-
saying let him play, let him get a few more goals,
So we can sell him.
let him fool a few other clubs, and maybe we can get some money for him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that guy's gone. I
Just
don't
to
want.
jump on this, I'm sorry. I can see Boogeyman doesn't have great. Boogeyman isn't Lukaku's biggest fan. You can see, like, I do understand his passion, but just from a realistic point of view, do you really think it's going to be easy to move Lukaku out of the club next year, this summer? It's going to be
Listen,
difficult, and
the question is, do I want Lukaku to stay? No, I don't want him.
I
But
agree. But if he
there's other
ends up
factor
coming
that
up,
comes to the fact that Lukaku found a new club. I know money-wise, can any other club can be able to afford Lukaku wages and all those crap? Not sure. But if the question was put just to me, yeah, listen, Boogie, Lukaku stay next season or now? No. Lukaku will be detrimental to our team
okay,
next
let me
season.
ask you a
We
question.
have to
So
go.
if Lukaku leaves, who do you want in? That's another question.
Look, Lukaku stay or not, we're not getting anything out of him. Him out
Well,
of
like,
the club,
let's
we
be
put
realistic. He has
other player
14,
there.
15 goals this season.
What's that?
The season wasn't his best season, I agree. But there's still a player in there. I know
Oh
a lot
no,
of fans don't like this
just see the
guy.
body language. That's my problem.
I agree. But you can see
People just
today, you can
start
see the
and
passion in
think
him a
about
little bit.
Lukaku scored 2 goals today, and that's it. Just watch the game. He didn't do more than what he used to do before.
I do agree. But you know
Yeah.
something? Kai
So
Havertz
why
does
would
all the hard
somebody
work, but
change
he
their
doesn't
mind?
score goals.
Hold
You
on.
know,
Let me take this. Boogie.
Yes,
How many
okay.
goals? How many goals has Lukaku scored this season for Chelsea?
14 goals overall in the league
Is it
and
40,
Champions
is
League.
it 50,
14,
50,
yeah, you can check it.
50, is it 14 or
15,
15?
14, 15, I think. Yeah.
I think it's 15. I think it's 15.
Yeah. 7 in the league. Yeah.
Eight in the league.
Okay,
8
8 in the league. Yep.
And it might be 14. But from what I remember, it's 8 in the league because it was 6 before today. So it's 8 in the league and 7 Champions League and Club World Cup and other bits and bobs. So he scored 15 goals this season, 8 Premier League goals, 7 elsewhere. And guys, if you want to fact check and let me know because I might be off by 1. 15 goals.
Wasn't 2 or 3 of those goals from the Club World Cup?
Yes, two of those goals was from the Club World Cup.
In the Premier League, he has 7
crucial.
goals.
7 in the Premier League, so he's got 14
Yeah.
altogether. 14 goals altogether, and he's had a poor season by all standards. Poor season. So imagine if he has a good season.
That's my point. Look, whether we like it or not, we can rely on Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz isn't a prolific striker. I know people say he does all the hard work, but man can't guarantee you goals. Let's be real.
Lukaku guarantee you a goal.
Oh yeah, he's proven
All
it.
right. Thank
He's
you.
proven it in his record,
God,
in his
man,
career.
then
He
I
didn't
have
have a
nothing
good
more to
season for
say.
Chelsea. I agree, Boogeyman. I respect your opinion. I'm just saying there's a player in there. If we can make it work, we will get the benefits.
It's not about player hiding inside someone's body. Show us the player. We're not psychologists. We're not going to get that player out. Show us the player. Lukaku has the player inside him. Where was that player when we need him? Nowhere.
Okay.
So, seriously, man.
If you do remember as well, he
Olu.
had the problem with our playing style. And also, the players around him haven't really helped him. I know Lukaku has his own personal problems. But let's be real here with our situation. If things are all equal, we can get something out of from Lukaku going forward. It's not easy
We're
to
not
move
looking
him
for
away.
something. Like, listen to Bobby. Listen, I'll let Bobby will talk. Listen to a lot of people that we don't have this quality. We need this quality. When the team is in a certain situation, we cannot bring this guy. We cannot bring this guy. We cannot. Now you're talking about Lukaku has some player inside him. Where was that player? We need players that are ready to come in and change games. We need players when they start the game, they score goals. We need players to fight. When we're winning, to fight, to chase. He does anything. What are we talking about here, Olu? Lukaku scored 2 goals, 1 penalty, and we all changed.
No, it's not about today's performance. It's not about today's
Yeah,
performance.
I have a question.
Hold on, guys. Boogie, when a person is down, when a person is feeling unwanted, when a person is feeling unhappy, he is not going to perform. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Is it part of
Yes
being
or
a,
no? No.
it's a
Yes
no
or
for
no?
me.
He's a
No,
human being. Human being. Human
no,
being.
isn't
Child,
it part
old.
of being
He's a
football
human being.
professional?
He's a human being. He's a human being.
No.
I'm a professional. I go to work. I do this. I do that. When I'm unhappy, my performance level drops. When I'm happy, my performance level increases. I tell you this:
But if that's the
Lukaku,
case,
after scoring that penalty, looking around, seeing Stamford Bridge standing up, clapping, showing him support, showing him love. 2 minutes it took him to score the second. 2 minutes. Once he felt that these people here, they have my back. They're not against me. That made an impact on the geezer. It made an
I
impact on him.
understand. I
I'm telling you
understand.
this. That is a big factor when it comes to Lukaku. Lukaku, if you looked at his face when he wasn't brought on against Everton, the man was in shock. He was in shock. The fact that he got this start today, it meant a lot to him, and he wanted to do something. He wanted to prove himself, and to a certain degree, as far as I'm concerned, he did. He did. Now, is he the answer to all of our problems? No, there's still more that he needs to do before we can say that.
He's not
But
the
do I
answer to
think
any
that,
problem.
do I agree with Olu? There's a play in there. Do I agree with Nick? There's with Eric. There's a play in there. Of course I do. I think there is a very good player in there. But will that player play for Chelsea? There's more that needs to be done before we can do that. I want to hear from the rest of the guys.
Okay, so
This
I got
is
the question.
I just have a question.
go on, okay.
Let's hear from
So,
Anu. Then
Go ahead,
we hear
Hanu.
from JP. Then we get Bobby to address both questions. Go on,
okay,
Anu.
so Lukaku has had a bad season, right? Kai Havertz, bad season or good season?
As a
Average.
striker, I would say average. As a striker,
Okay, but Lukaku has the same amount of goals in the Premier League than Kai Havertz, and overall in all competitions, he has 1 goal more. So there is a player in Lukaku. We must just find that player.
Oh.
And I know,
Boogie, take it easy, man. Relax, Boogie, take it easy.
No, I love the
and I
kid.
know I
Give him
have
a
said
chance.
it on my previous stream. I did. Lukaku isn't the right one because he scored 2 easy goals, and I agree, it is easy. It's a penalty and what's an open goal basically. But when you see that reaction from that second, when that second goal went in, you know he cares. You know how it means. So for me, there is a player in him. We must just find it, but he isn't the total solution. He's not that missing piece. He is a piece that we need. He's not the missing piece.
All right, fair comment. And I see people in the chat are actually responding to that comment. I'm going to get Bobby to answer that after I hear JP's question. JP, what's your question, mate?
So, first of all, I just want to make sure I have this correct. Kai's natural position it's a number 9 striker, right?
He's a centre forward, not a striker. So centre forward is a second striker, is a backup striker, is a he's more of a no, he's ahead of a cam. We call it a false 9 rather than a 9. A 9 is a striker, a false 9 is a centre forward. So he's a second striker or behind the striker.
Cam kind of
Ahead of a cam. A cam is a 10.
right. So how is he putting out better performances and shows up more often than someone we paid 100 million for? And and that's the other thing too, is that I think we also judge Lukaku's performance, or how he's performing this season based on what we paid for and what the players we got rid of to make for financially, because we had to get rid of 15 players to break over 100 mil to kind of justify that purchase. But after the whole interview, it just kind of lets you see like what this guy can be capable of, and it just seems like he brought more problems than solutions. So even though we saw him do great in Italy, we see Tammy do great in Italy. I'm not saying Tammy's bad. I'd rather have him back, but when you see him perform average at best all around England, I just don't think that it's not even the Chelsea that suits him. I just don't think he can compete at this type of level. He might have to go to France. PSG might be the best option for him, but my thing is that if we see Lukaku play in France, Italy, and he performs well, is it just we portray that Chelsea messed up, or is that just he's more at that level?
I think you already answered that question yourself.
No. Listen, it's a perception. I mean, right now, he brought up the point of Tammy Abraham, and I know this is. No, I want Bobby to address this, but I'm sure to talk about Tammy Abraham, and then I'm going to hand over to Bobby. Tammy Abraham is doing wonders for Roma in the Serie A. Tammy Abraham, his performances under Frank Lampard were pretty good, considering it was a breakout season, and then doing what he could to impact Chelsea as a youngster. He did really, really well for himself. However, when Thomas Tuchel came along, he did not fancy Tammy Abraham at all. Tammy Abraham's performances in Serie A are at the same level to what Romelu Lukaku was recording with Inter Milan, but he's doing it at a lower club, which is Roma. Does that mean Tammy Abraham's sale was a mistake? I don't know, because we never really got a chance to see him play under Thomas Tuchel for a season. So I don't think that is a good way to measure a player with such a short amount of time under Thomas Tuchel's system, because we know Lukaku could perform well in a different system that was utilized by Conte in the Serie A. Could he perform with that same system better if it was in the Premier League? Debatable. We don't know. We're not going to know. It's all about perception, and that is what JP is asking for, the perception and the opinion. So let me get Bobby to come in and address both Hanu and JP's query in respect to Romelu Lukaku. How do you see it? And I know your stance on Lukaku before he came in, since he's been here, and I want to know what you think in respect to his future with Chelsea.
I think, first of all, I want to address the Tammy Abraham issue. The only reason Tammy Abraham is not at Chelsea today, it's not that Thomas Tuchel didn't fancy him. It's because he had a contract on the table for 2 seasons and he refused to sign it. And the club, rather than completely miss out, thought, okay, it was time to check in. And that was why Tuchel benched him, because he didn't want somebody who wasn't committed to being at the club. And I think he was right to take that sort of decision. As far as Lukaku is concerned, you see, you're right. Before Lukaku came, I didn't think he was good enough. While he was here, I was hoping he'll prove me wrong. He hasn't. Now, this one game where he appears to have done well, whoopee-doo. But I can see Tuchel's point yet again. Is it now, after all this time, you bang in 2 goals like this, and now all of a sudden we got to start praising you as if you've been carrying the team all season like you were brought here to do? No. Were the fans right to encourage him? Absolutely. I know Chelsea fans. You show us effort, we'll get behind you. And we know that not getting behind a player on the pitch is not good for the team. I mean, it just makes no sense. So yes, it's good. He looked excited after scoring, but it's too little. Should he be here next season? Well, he might have to be, simply because it's going to be a challenge to sell him. He's on 325k a week. He costs close to 100 million. Nobody likes throwing money away. Even Roman, he only did it because he loves Chelsea. But nobody likes throwing money away. And it could be tricky to sell him. And now that the government has put us on the back foot in the transfer market, who can we realistically be able to bring in to replace him? That's number two. The third point is the answer to a problem, especially when it comes to a team, is not necessarily scrambling the whole team. We're going to lose enough players. First of all, we're losing, 3 defenders?
Wait, I'm going to talk to you for 1 second. I'm going to be gone for 2 minutes. I'll be right back, so just continue. I'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Okay. So, first of all, we're losing 3 defenders. 1, I would say 4, if you include Zuma, like I do, who's already gone. I thought that was a blunder. And then it's quite likely there will be departures in the midfield. I think if we want to strengthen the midfield, we're going to have to let Jorginho go. And then the forward line, what do we do about it? Havertz is a young, developing player. He's not really a centre forward, and he's not a player that has yet got to that level. I look at him like Robin van Persie. When Van Persie was becoming the player he eventually ended up being, he wasn't playing 3-4 games a week. He was often found on the bench. And Havertz is that type of player. You have to give him gaps in between games so that he remains on top form. So Havertz is a project. And I think probably by about next season, he's shown enough signs this season that every season he's going to get better. So it comes back to Lukaku. We can't get rid of him. Will he be useful to us while he's here? Possibly, but right now I'm not holding my breath. I'm really not. I need to see more before I can start thinking of him as some big hope.
Yeah, can I just quickly clarify what I meant when I said he has a chance? I think in terms of what he could have done for Chelsea, that's gone. He will never be this player that people hold in high regard when they think about past Chelsea teams. He will never be that. That chance is gone. But in terms of salvaging the rest of his time at the club,
Hold on. Why is that gone? Why is that gone? Because of the interview?
I mean, the interview is part of it, but
Right.
just the general perception of the fans, towards him. Obviously, that can change, but I don't think he did himself any favors with his return and his performances, surrounding that time. He was good at the start, even though he was barely getting chances, and then he wasn't getting chances, and he also wasn't doing what he should be doing. Not enough movement, um, not enough quality on the ball, and the decision making wasn't the best. So the performances were very poor, especially for somebody who costs that much money. And he will never do what Werner does, in terms of the effort. He just is not that kind of player. So for those reasons, I just don't think he will ever be seen like that. But at least he can salvage something, for however long he stays at Chelsea. That's what I meant when I said he has a chance, as opposed to getting sold this summer. So
Okay.
that's it.
All right, I'm just checking something. I'll be with you guys in just 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think you're right. Largely, I think will he ever be that player we hoped he was? Well, Graham Souness said if Cristiano Ronaldo played for Chelsea, he would have 50 goals this season. I still believe that to be true. If Romelu had the mobility and the instinct in and around goal to create his own chances, to run onto half chances rather than wait to be that striker that is always fed, he would be having 50 goals a season. Is that going to ever happen? I have my doubts. The thing that is making Romelu, people even think of playing Romelu, is his price tag and his wages. Because as it stands, he's going to be an impact sub next season.
Yeah, and just to add quick to it, his movement, we keep saying the same thing, his movement. But when you see his body language, it seems like Lukaku does not understand that. He's still pointing his partner how to move. The problem is you not moving. But every time the ball is lost in the opponent box, just look at Lukaku. He telling people how to move. But we sitting in front of our TV screaming, Lukaku, run, you have to move. So for me, it's like the communication is broken. He just does not know what he is doing wrong, or Tuchel is not telling him. I don't know. So at the end of the day, I just think he himself. I heard when I was in this same stream, and it was yesterday or 2 days or 3 days ago. Someone said Lukaku has a meeting with Tuchel where I think Lukaku told Tuchel that he's never going to adapt to this pressing, running up front or pressing game. So then, if that's the case, if it is settled that he knows what Tuchel wants, but he cannot provide Tuchel with it, I think it's clear. Whoever is buying the club right now is Todd. Just has to listen to the coach and let Lukaku go. We have a coach.
Hold on. Boogeyman, can you see the table on the screen?
Yeah.
But to where though?
Huh?
Yeah, I can see the table. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. All right. You can see the table. Are these good figures?
As a Premier League, so
I'm asking.
10 goals.
Are these good
10 goals and as a 5 assists, right?
Yeah.
10 goals, 5 assists. No, yeah, okay. And how do Champions League 5 goals, 1 assist. EPL 1 goal.
Are these
Yeah, it
good
depends. It
figures
depends.
for a first
Is it
season?
striker?
For a
Is it
first
striker?
season. It's a striker. Yeah, it's a striker. Because
And
Romelu
playing
Lukaku's
for
figures are similar to this, right? Similar.
yeah, okay, yeah, close to yeah.
Okay. Do you know whose figures these are? Can you have a
Tottenham
guess?
Young Min Son?
No. These figures are for a Chelsea legend, the King, in his first season at Chelsea.
0405?
Yep.
Wow.
Drogba?
Yep. That's Drogba's first season at Chelsea.
Can I say something though? So when Drogba was born, I think was Crespo here, or the Uruguayan guy who was here. We used to have a top striker, and Drogba was brought to second as top striker, right? If I remember, I can't remember which one. Let me just check it quick.
When Drogba was here, the only other person, Crespo came after Drogba.
Okay.
The only other person was Solomon Kalou. And then after all that was even Anelka.
We had Good Johnson.
Oh, good job. Ida, yeah. So, I mean, but Ida was never a main striker. Never. He used to dovetail with Hasselbank. So, I don't know. I think what saved us that season was that we were getting goals from all over the pitch. The issue with Lukaku, this is where I do blame Thomas Tuchel, is, you see, the answer is not, looking to throw away what you have, because I don't think he's somebody we can throw away, certainly not easily. So you optimize what you have. Now, Thomas Tuchel likes to play a high-octane, fast, high-paced, good-running game. And Romelu won't give you that. So you optimize it. You play him just like Juventus played What's that guy we all like? Gosh, what's his name? Man, I'm tired. That's why I'm
Morata?
forgetting. Sorry.
Is it
No,
Morata?
no, the guy that's really good on the ball. Oh, God.
Dybala?
Dybala.
No,
Dybala?
the other one. That wanted to come to Chelsea.
Yeah. God,
I'm
Sandro?
tired. I've had a long day, so
Chiesa.
No.
Chiesa.
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 Is it
Yeah,
Chiesa?
God, I can't even get it.
yeah.
Also, I've seen
You
I don't think he
optimize
wanted
him
to come to Chelsea, but
like
yeah.
Juventus used Chiesa. And how did they play Chiesa? Chiesa only plays 60 minutes. So if you find that Lukaku can give you, even if it's 45 minutes, but let's say, I think he'll be able to give you 50, 60 minutes running at full pelt. You play him that long, and then you bring on either your Havertz or your Werner and supplement the rest of the game. I think he kind of did that today. If from what I see is accurate, I don't think he played the full game, although he didn't do that much running. If he knows that he only has 50 minutes on the pitch, he will play for 50 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And if he stays still 90, for him, that's extra time. You have to optimize him, and I'm not sure in terms of using him at all, he's been optimized. Will Lukaku ever be a world class striker? Will he ever be a Benzema? No, he won't.
no.
But will he ever be a bully that can do a job in the Premier League? Yes. Yes. I mean, we should have
Let me
brought him on
He's
against Everton.
29, going 30.
let me hear from Tobago. Tobago, welcome to the stream. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, South African kids are taking over my channel.
Who?
I got Tobago and I've got Hanu. Both of you are from South Africa, man. You're taking over my channel.
Honey, where are you from in South Africa?
Katu in Northern Cape.
Oh, okay.
You?
Anyway, guys, yeah,
Where are you from in South Africa?
Pretoria.
Pretoria. Okay.
How? Yes. Anyway, guys, big up to the panel.
Big up Tobago.
To be honest, I'm so sad that we bottled two nil lead and then we end up throwing the game. That is not good enough. I think our players, after 2 goals, they were thinking they were cruising. We had the points in the back, but unfortunately, in football, it's not like that. If they saw the game between Real Madrid and Man City, they should have known in football anything can happen. So I don't want to blame Tuchel. I don't want to blame people. But I can say Todd Boehly was there. You can see our defense is not good enough. They were sleeping today. And I'm so glad that Lukaku scored 2 goals today.
Yeah.
Big man, I know you laugh.
You know,
But
listen. I want to just say this. I just want to say this. Today was not a good day for Chelsea Football Club because of the result. It was a painful result. And today wasn't a good day for Liverpool because they had a painful result as well for them.
Yes.
But can someone explain this
What
to you,
was
please?
their result?
Oh yeah, they got Barca 4-0. Yeah, I know. They
Can
got
someone explain this to me?
they got
Please
destroyed.
explain this to me.
Can I
Man
quickly
United.
just make
Can
my
I
last
add
point?
something?
Hold on.
That made the day better.
Hold on. Go on, Hanu.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Okay, so Lukaku is a missing piece, not the missing piece, but I wouldn't be angry if we sold him. We need to play him, but play him in the right games. And Kai Havertz, we need to mold him into this team, like Pep did to Foden, like Foden did it start straight away. And I just want to say to all Liverpool fans, beating Tottenham is not for anyone. It's not for everyone. For everyone. And United fans, to get something against Brighton, a point is not for everyone. So that's my last point. And come on, Chelsea. Come on, Newcastle. Beat those City boys. And hopefully Chelsea can win the FA Cup. Peace, guys. See you all.
Big up,
Peace, Hanu.
big
Take
up,
care. Good
peace.
night. Good night. Good night.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yes, I know we all here we can agree that Lukaku might not be good enough for our system, the way we play. But Lukaku is a good striker, but it's not a perfect striker, just like Benzema and the other ones, you know. So I think if you are playing Lukaku, the game plan should change slightly. We should feed him the ball so that he can score those goals. Just look at Saul. Passed him very fast and he was alone again. He scored a beautiful goal. So I hope to Chelsea saw that. But anyway, no, we bottled those 2 goals from Lukaku, and then he was so upset. You saw his face after that goal.
Look, someone tell Lukaku that I've seen worse. He bottled a lot of our chances, and I didn't sleep at home. So he can be mad because he scored 2 goals, and we end up being 2-2. He can.
Let me ask a question, if you don't mind, just about leaving. So I keep hearing Lukaku doesn't fit our style. So what is our style? And you tell me one of our top players as an attacker that have benefited from this so-called style you claim. I want to understand.
Fantastic question.
Yeah, I want to know.
Question.
You know, you keep saying our style.
Because
Tell me one player.
Every striker that's come to Chelsea, apart from very few, have managed to be able to fit the Chelsea style.
Boogeyman should answer that question.
Can I answer
I
it?
think Costa was the last one.
What's the style? I want to know. And tell me the players that scored more goals than Lukaku. That's not having this season.
Let me just get it quick to you. If you still don't know Chelsea style, Lukaku himself told you, I'm not going to be able to play Tuchel way of playing, which is pressing. So actually, as right now, 2022 in May 7, our style is pressing. You have to press. Can Lukaku press? No. So Lukaku does not fit our style. That's as simple as that.
Okay, but you still haven't answered my question. So tell me one player that's benefited from the so-called pressing you said.
You want me to find a player on the planet that can fit?
No. I mean, in our squad.
Hold on. How come every single manager that comes and manages Chelsea Football Club all seem to have the same problem when it comes to the striker? They all play different. They play different systems, different formations.
I will explain you something quick. The manager come in and go. The thing is, we fire manager really fast. You cannot invest 60 million in the players and fire the manager 2 months after that and bring a new manager with a new system.
There you go. There you go. There you go. You've hit the nail on the head.
That's not going to fit the new manager system. That's the biggest problem we've been having at Chelsea.
Perfect. Boogie.
But it does not change the fact that Tuchel seeding when Lukaku was signed. So in this case, even Lukaku himself said, I have conversation with the Tuchel, and we know what we're going to do. And when Lukaku did his own all those talk in the press, Tuchel played Lukaku in all systems existing on this planet. The only difference is we didn't bring extraterrestrials to play with Lukaku on Earth. Lukaku play all systems. None of them feel Lukaku. He can't even score any goal. So at the end of the day, man is not good for EPL. He is too.
Oh no, that's not true. He's good for the EPL.
If he's not good for any top 4.
Oh no, that's not true.
For any top 4 team.
That's not true. Man has over 100 goals in the EPL. No. You know something? I can understand you don't like Lukaku. He's not having a good
sport in Chelsea. I don't like it. I like the
what I'm saying is,
you don't
be surprised if Lukaku leaves. We get a new striker and we're still having the same problem. You know, I don't think Lukaku is our biggest problem. We have more problems than just Lukaku. Our front lines have lack of decision-making skill. It's not just about Lukaku. You can bring in Benzema next season, and we're still going to be having the same complaint.
No. Benzema can create his own chances.
You know, Benzema is perfect.
You haven't seen Benzema play against us,
and that's my point. You know, that now boils down to the point I'm making. We might have a bigger problem than just our front line. The style we're playing might also be a problem. That's what I'm saying. Our front line as a player, as a team, they don't have the cohesion.
Okay, Olu, we have a team that won the Champions League last season. While we all Chelsea fan in 2021, what did we say? We need just one guy that can put the ball in the net because we keep creating those chances.
We're
creating those mad chances. We need that guy that can finish those chances. So we kind of know the problem we have last season. What was our decision? That's when I will sit behind Bobby now and let Bobby finish Marina stuff. We bring Lukaku in. Lukaku was not the solution for the young squad, talented squad.
You make it sound like you know it's just Lukaku. Like the other front players aren't bad as well.
I'm Chelsea fan, and I know the problem we have 2021. We brought in the guy, 21 years old with a lot of experience. It's not like 21. It's not 22. He is 28 years old. Was supposed to come there and lead the attack with example and everything. He didn't show any. So now you're telling me he's not the problem. I don't care if he is the problem.
No, I mean, it's
the problem
not
I'm
the
having.
problem.
No, that's the simple as that.
So look at the thing here, Boogeyman. I agree with you. This season, he hasn't done good. He doesn't fit Chelsea's style. But my point is, in reality, we can't get Lukaku out with ease. Especially, we're losing quite a lot of players. Let's be real. Like we keep talking about, we want Lukaku out, Werner out, Pulisic out.
We shouldn't want Lukaku out, man.
Let's be real. I'm being realistic.
I
understand it's not working for Chelsea, but we can work with what we have going forward. That's my point.
We can't afford to sell Lukaku right now. We just can't. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it would be very difficult to anyway. I tend to agree with that because we're stuck with him, we have to optimize him and get the best out of him for him to be effective in games, even if it means he comes off the bench. But the problem is not the system. You know, there are many pundits, many of which I thoroughly dislike. But I will quote Graham Souness again. He said, if Cristiano Ronaldo played for Chelsea, he would be on 50 goals now. That is testimony to the number of chances created and are fluffed by these guys. I mean, some of the chances they miss just doesn't bear thinking about. So it's about the lack of clinical finishing of our attackers. And a lot of that comes with age. People like Havertz, they will do it in time. I remember Benzema used to miss a hatful of chances when he was coming through the ranks. He scored more than he missed, but he wasn't this lethal finisher that he is now. I don't even think Lewandowski was. He was a very, very good striker, but it wasn't until his mid to late 20s that he started becoming this lethal finisher. So Havertz has time. Werner, I don't know. Werner, I think he may have reached his level. You know, I think we need to really make a decision on Werner. Lukaku, if we were able to make a decision, it could be a matter of who comes in, because there's no point getting him out to bring another one that we're going to struggle with. We haven't had a reliable striker since Diego Costa. And, you know, to answer your question about, you know, is it, you know, his fault? To a certain extent it is, because when you play for the top sides, you make your own luck. You know, you create for yourself. Look at people like Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Firmino. I mean, they score goals from impossible angles and you know, creations, and it's not every time that they slip through one-on-one with the keeper. But the sad thing is that more times than not, we see Lukaku pointing, waiting for somebody to just give him a tap in. And that's just not the way.
No.
I mean, look at the goals Benzema scored against us. half chances, barely
But
balls
he
that
got the
he could
service
reach.
though. He got the service though. Did you
Well,
Well,
see how
Lukaku
many
gets the service,
hold
but
on.
he doesn't
Did you
finish
did you
them.
did you see how many times Lukaku was in the right position at the right time and Timo Werner just didn't see him?
Well,
Today,
I think we need to make a decision on Werner. We really do. At this rate, I would rather see Amando Broja than Timo, to be honest, because what's this, the second season now? I don't know if he's ever really going to improve.
I want to get Boogie to address this question, and there's a caveat to this as well. And MJ says that MJ's question is as follows, Boogie. He says we know Lukaku was not good enough, but who else hasn't been good? Please reply to this question because it's not just Lukaku. Tuchel needs to get his best 11. Then he goes on to say Werner is the poorest player you can ever have in a team. Boogie, what he's asking is why are you focusing on Lukaku specifically? Players in the team who have also been poor.
Listen, I think I already tried to answer that with the one way or the other by saying when Tuchel first came in, that energy that team was playing with, and all the chances that the Werners and the Mounts, even the Captain America CP10, all those chances those kids were missing in up front. The decision was we need to find a mature striker that can help that team mature. And Lukaku was the answer at that time for the board, and they brought Lukaku in. So for me, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of people, when you bring change to a system, and for some reason you're not getting the result or the improvement you were looking for, you did this. You have to do a system restore. You have to take the new pieces that you put in the system. You have to take it out and go back to where you have certain performance that you like. And for me, it's simple for me. That's how I think. That's always how I manage my life. Lukaku was the missing piece as what we decided before. We brought it in. It didn't change anything. It didn't do too good. For me, we went backward anyways. So I want him out. That's why I blame Lukaku. And on top of all those, he is a mature player. He is 29 now. And I cannot blame a 21 years old, 22 years old, or even 20 or 19 or Hudson Odoi and all those kids for not performing at a high level. Chelsea, at the Chelsea is a top four. Now listen, if you are an EPL top four standard, that means in Europe, you should be playing quarterfinals, Champions League every season or something like that. So for me, Chelsea is a top team. If we bring a player and we decided to I mean, to not if I say to pay, I'm just going to another direction, and we think that player should be the leader leading our attack. It's because we want that player to take us to the top level. Will Lukaku next season make us win the Champions League? Will this Lukaku we saw, will they be able to score 24 goals, 20, 30 goals next season? I just don't see it because of his movement. Lukaku is getting big and fat. He's getting lazy. Do you think during the vacation Lukaku is going to come to the preseason all lean?
Boogie, I think I'm gonna have to stop you here. Boogie, you are being so harsh on Lukaku, man. You are not being what's the word here?
Objective or fair?
Yeah, objective is the word I'm going to use. Fair is debatable. I'm going to say objective because I think you need to put that same standard to all the players, and I think if you do that,
I've got another angle to add to this. Hold
on. Yeah, I think the whole thing in respect to Romelu Lukaku, his situation, his season, we need to say in a way where we take into account all these factors that have come into play. We need to take into account his record as a footballer, and then we'll need to address that, because as a footballer, he's not a bad footballer. You can't tell me Romelu Lukaku is a bad footballer. His record tells you he is a good striker. In respect to his performances with Chelsea Football Club, I agree with you. He could do a lot better. He should have done a lot better. I also think there was factors that contributed to him underperforming, and most of those factors were off the pitch rather than on the pitch. These are the issues that I'm talking about that I think another season may fix.
Can I ask a question? Here's 20 years. Here's 29.
One second. May fix, may not fix. Time will tell. I think the fact that we paid so much for him, for us to take such a big hit and sell him next season, I think we don't need to do that. I think we can bolster our attack and keep him for one more season. And if we are going to take a hit, let's take a hit next season. But I think us selling him this season, under these circumstances, we're going to lose a lot of money that we really shouldn't be looking to do. I think we should be looking to bolster right now other positions. We have an issue in our defence. We have an issue in our midfield. We have a wing-back situation that we need to fix. That is what we need to be focusing on, not the striker. I think we need to bring Armando Borja back.
100%.
Armando Borja will be definitely an addition to the squad. I am of the thinking that Armando Borja should be in the squad next season rather than loan him out for another season. I don't think he's fully ready yet, but I think he definitely has the ability to improve with Chelsea, with Tuchel, with Lukaku, with Havertz. He can improve, but we do need to address a lot of issues in our club. The striker is not, for me, a problem at this point in time, taking into account that we have Armando Borja on loan. Taking into account that we have Gallagher coming in as well. He can also contribute in creating chances for Romelu Lukaku next season. I think we need to address the defence. I think we need to address the midfield. But this is what we need.
I'll let Bobby come in then.
One second, Boogie.
Honestly,
one second, Bobby. I am the one who is going to delegate the next individual. It isn't going to be Boogeyman. So lads, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give each one of you a final statement. I'm going to let you speak longer than normal. It's not going to be a 2-minute final statement. I mean, I normally give you 2 minutes and you end up speaking for 20. But, I'll give you guys time to give me your final statements, and then we'll conclude the stream because it has gone 2.5 hours and I really don't want the stream to go for too long. So I'm going to give each one of you a few minutes to give me your final statement, and that could cover any area that you wish to cover. And I'll start it with Bobby. So take it away, Bobby.
in a way, all these things we're saying is absolutely meaningless. In a way, it's just meaningless. Because I'm just watching the goals scored by Timo Werner and then the goals scored by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And this is the first problem of Chelsea. There is a corrupt, lying, stinking system that is geared towards inhibiting this club. I'm seething. I hadn't seen this before. Even Todd Boehly shaking his head. This is the sort of thing that back in the day will make guys get on the field and start cracking heads. This is disgusting. I'm pissed with this.
You literally just see that now?
I'm just seeing it now.
Bobby.
This is our problem.
Bobby, Ruben Loftus-Cheek's goal, yeah? VAR took 10 minutes to decide.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that now. You see, whether we talk about this player, that player, the manager, this, that, and the other, you got to score, 5 times before one goal is allowed? Who does that? If this was Liverpool, there would have been two goals given. The goal that Werner scored is just comedy. The defender threw himself on the ground. The referee and VAR said it's an infringement. This is our problem. This is what it's all about. Biased officiating. Before anything else, I really, really would like to see Chelsea fans talking about this. We need to come out about this sort of thing because it's stinking the Premier League out completely. It's not a level playing field, not for Chelsea, for sure. Sorry, but I'm really angry.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. You're spot on. Is there anything else you want to add, Bobby?
No, I'm just I don't know. I'm fed up. I wasn't at the stadium today. I hadn't seen the game. I'd heard about this, but you know, when you actually see it for what it is, you just look at all these conversations, all the things being said by the pundits, and it's just BS. It's BS. This is the problem. The problem is the officiating. Let's be real.
Yep. Yeah, no. It was disgusting. That's the word that we should use. It was disgusting to see those decisions. I mean, the offside. It took them 10 minutes, and they couldn't even make up their mind at the end. They asked the referee to go and check the screen. Was it that one he went to check the screen? I'm not sure if it was that one.
So it's
But
not clear and obvious.
Yeah.
Period.
So it was, you know, and the thing is with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, when he actually took the shot, there was one of the Wolves players behind the post on the other side.
Yep.
So how was that? How was that offside? I don't know. You know, they looked at Rudiger's knee. They spent like 2 minutes checking out his knee. They figured out that his knee was onside. Then they looked at the flick on by Lukaku, the shot by Lukaku. They were just trying to find an excuse. And again, the Timo Werner one. I mean, the guy was literally doing it. One of them, what's it called? Swimming pool dives. Literally, he was just diving. There was nothing to it. It was literally just jumping into a pool, but it wasn't a pool. It was on the pitch. So it's a comedy. It's a comedy. Chelsea should have had, half a dozen goals in that game. Those chances that were missed, plus the ones that were disallowed. And it's funny how the commentator halfway through the game said their goalkeeper was having a good game. Four balls in the back of the net, and he's having a good game.
Sorry, guys.
Bobby, thank you for coming.
I'm just about
Thank
leaving.
you for your
I
time.
just want to say have a good one, guys.
I'll let you go next, Olu. If you,
Just
if
about
you
leaving. I just want to say thank you very much,
Alright.
guy. Boogeyman, take care of yourself. I really
thanks for
enjoyed
having
talking
me.
to
Take
you.
care, Bobby.
Yeah,
Bobby,
Olu,
take care,
welcome.
guys.
Oh, anytime, man. You need
Thanks
to
for
come
coming
more
on.
often. What's
Oh
going
yeah,
on?
absolutely. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too, man.
Cheers, Olu.
Awesome.
Take care. Take care. I have someone in the backstage. Ola, I can't bring you on. We are about to end the stream, so I will give you a chance in the next one. I do apologize, but we are ending the stream. Let me go to JP. JP, I believe you have a channel, right?
Yeah, it's fairly new. It's just out of time podcast, and if just wanted to say one thing, because like I said, this stream of 2.5 hours is crazy, but I wanted to go off with what he said. Yes, that VAR is just, I think it's just a setback in this whole game, because I mean, I don't want to blame the refs, because we shouldn't blame VAR for being a team that we're clearly better than, but just didn't show it. I just don't know, like, if it's coming down to just millimeters, I just can't justify it, because they're just going to break it down to the frame. It looks worse when it's slowed down in slow motion to these fouls. I'm still trying to figure out how the Lukaku goal was disallowed in the Carabao Cup final, but it's what it is. But
that was crazy. I was there. I was there in the stadium.
Yeah, like you
that
said,
was crazy.
Like, and if it's that close, like if it's that you're not certain or it's not indefinite, let it go. Like it's
let it go. Yeah.
Benefit
Let it
of
go,
the
man.
doubt. It's you're supposed to give the striker the benefit of the doubt. I mean, that's the law, right? That's what the law's supposed to be.
And the way they're trying to make those. Sorry, I'm not supposed to talk when you talk. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, let JP finish his
Oh
statement.
no, go ahead.
No, it's your time, JP. This is the way we end. This is the way we end the show. We give everyone some time to talk without being interrupted. But Boogie Man, Boogie is Boogie.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt. That was just a nice banner back and forth. But yeah, that I don't know what to expect for the rest of this for the remaining games, because these are all teams that we should easily beat, but we always come up short. I don't want to blame VAR. I don't want to blame the Tuchel's subs, whatever. We should be beating these teams well into the first half. Done. Let the likes of Harvey, Vale, or anyone just go in. But it's I don't know. It's just been a don't know what type of team to predict, and it's but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all. I've just been wanting to listen. This channel's been great, and not subscribed for but it's every time I do check it out, it's always nice.
JP, it's a pleasure to have you on, mate. Look forward to seeing you in future streams. Good luck with your channel. Do you want to do me a favor before you leave? If you can stick the link of your channel in the private chat, I will share it with my subscribers so they can go check it out. So if you can just stick your link in the private chat before you leave, and then I'll get people to go check it out. Let me go to Tobago. Tobago, big up to you.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about the game. I want to talk about the future. And then Boogeyman said it. If we sell Lukaku and then we bring another striker, what if we're going to have the same problem again? Also, I think now a lot of our defenders are going. So we need to strengthen there before going to strikers and the attacking players. And then this summer won't be easy. It's gonna be tough for us. So I think Thomas Tuchel tried a lot to create a system for these current players, and then now they're starting to crack. They're failing him always. They're doing the same mistakes now and then. So hopefully we secure it at the top 4, maybe win the FA Cup, and then this ownership gets settled before the month end, and then start rebuilding a new squad. So, and then I can start judging Thomas Tuchel on that, because, like, to be honest, also our scouting system is not working. Like he said, he exposed them on the press conference, but not directly, because like we need proper scouts to bring good players. Not scouting Saul Niguez for 2 years, and then he was not on the starting lineup for Atletico Madrid. What was that? Look at Chouameni this season; he's just killing it. We left him for 40 million. Now it's close to 80 million. And then a lot of teams want him now. So if you don't get a defensive midfielder for next season, you should forget about winning something next season, to be honest, because like we need a defensive midfielder a lot, because like those goals were conceding. Nah. But anyway, guys, thank you for having me. Hope to see you in the next stream. And Boogie Man, I love you, man.
Yeah, love you too, man. You need to come more often.
Tobago, listen, mate. It's tough. It's tough being a Chelsea fan, especially towards the end of the season, because we make it hard for ourselves. Literally, all we had to do was win today, slap Leeds on Wednesday, and that is it. Job done. Champions League football in the bag. We draw today. Leeds are in a relegation battle, so they're gonna need some points. So we might just give them a couple. So we'll see what happens.
And every time Todd Boehly came to watch Chelsea, we didn't play well. 3 games
not a
now.
Good omen. Not a good omen. Yeah, not a good omen. Listen,
Man need to sit at home a little bit.
Today the man was happy. The man was happy until that late goal. Yo. But anyway,
This is
it's fine.
the English. sorry.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's fine.
I'll let you go next, Eric. I'll let you go next, Eric. Tobago, thank you very much for coming on, my brother. I hope to see you in the next stream. Take care of yourself and be safe.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thank you. Peace. Peace. All right, I'm gonna leave Boogeyman to the end. Make him suffer a little bit more. Let me hear what Eric has to say. Eric, your
Yeah,
final thoughts, mate.
yeah. Just to respond to what Tobago was saying. This is English football. Todd Boehly is getting he's getting introduced to English football. This is how it is. You know, if you don't turn up, if you're not switched on for the whole game, then you can easily concede a last minute goal. So this is very normal in England. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about the game. We're just dragging it out now. Chelsea always find a way to we just never make it easy for ourselves. We always make it complicated, and that's just how it is, I guess. You know, we will get top four, but maybe it will go to the last day. Hopefully not, though. And the season has been over for a while. At this point, I can't even be as invested emotionally as I was before. I'm just being honest, because we have nothing to play for in the league. Okay, yeah, you can say we're playing for top four, but I think top four is going to happen. It's just, you know, when it happens. You know, will it happen next week or will it happen on the last day of the season? So hopefully it happens sooner rather than later. But we've been waiting for too long now. Tuchel, yes, you know, fair enough. The criticism, I get it. You know, he deserves to be criticized, but I still think he's the man for us going forward. He needs to be backed. Don't know how much money we'll be able to spend. Hopefully we can get rid of these players who we don't believe are good enough. That's the most important thing, because there's no point having people there who we can't even, you know, bring off the bench. You know, we have like 5, 6, 7 players like that. So hopefully that can be done. We can get some money from sales and we can do something, you know, with this squad. And hopefully we win that FA Cup final, because I don't know what I'll do if we lose 3 FA Cup finals in a row. But yeah, Liverpool lost the chance to win the title, so that all can end. Even if they beat us in the FA Cup final, no quadruple for them. And hopefully, yeah, I'm just looking forward to next season, to be honest. There's not much more to say. So thanks for having me. Yeah, on to the next one.
Big up, Eric. Big up. Listen, if Newcastle manage to do a madness tomorrow, then the whole thing is back on. So let's see what happens. But yeah, listen, crazy things have happened in football. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's going to be an interesting game. Definitely want to watch. Eric Blue, thank you for coming on. I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself, my brother.
Peace.
Take care. Have a good night. Bye bye. All right. Before I go to Boogeyman, DJ Sav, do you have time to come on? Because I want to ask you a few questions since you were at the bridge. If you have time to come on, tell me. I'll send you the link to the chat via DM to the panel. So let me know if you can. Boogeyman, final thoughts, my brother.
Yeah, I think Eric said it properly. We probably will be top four. It's just when and how. Normally, today we deserve those 3 points if we were to being serious about it. If we didn't switch off or if we didn't make those silly mistakes in the middle of the park, which is dangerous in the APL. Saying that today was not just negative, it was not all negative, I should say. We have a new owner. At least it is confirmed. So that's my understanding. And like Eric said, it just seemed like even our own players are just looking forward to the next season. This season they all gave up already. It's just for some reason. And my hope is they know we still have a FA Cup final with Liverpool, and we just don't want to lose that one. VAR took one game away from us, and we cannot afford to lose this one. And I think someone in the chat said they still don't get how Lukaku was offside against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. Me too. Every time I open Twitter and if everybody posts any picture. It's just nonsense to me. Up to today, I just don't get it. How was Lukaku offside on that game? And sometimes I tend to disagree with Bobby, but it's just too much of call that went against us. And every time Chelsea has a small chance, they don't let go. They check the first phase, they check the second phase. Like today game, today's goal, Ruben Loftus-Cheek goal. They were checking every step of the before that led to the goal. Then I'm just like, why don't they do that for Liverpool? Why don't they do that for all the other team when they score goals and we all screaming that's offside? They just don't care. The referee say let's go, and then they don't give the point to Liverpool and every sometimes Manchester City, even Everton sometimes. No, something is going on we don't have control over. But what we have control over is when we score two goals and we're leading two goals to nil or three goals to nil. We need to have some sort of tactical or I'm not sure, some sort of managerial scenario management. It's just like Tuchel knows, okay, if I'm winning 2-0, I need to give some confidence to these young kids to know how to seek game out. We still have a pretty young team. You can see Silva is 36, but yeah. But if you look over the all over the pitch, you have to teach those kids, the Pulisic, the Harvest, how to seek out game, where to be, how to run, how to press, how to do this. If you have to come to the middle and press back, if you have to just let the opponent come, those scenarios they have to. Tuchel has to start using those scenarios. We cannot be winning game 2-0 and finish that game at 2-2, and we blame players. We can't just sit down here blaming players. It has to come from the manager. So I expect more from Tuchel for at this point because we're losing. If we take those losses and go into the next season and we start next season with losses, I'm thinking we'll have to see Tuchel being fired because that's what is going to happen. People are going to be, he didn't turn it around. That's what it is. He needs to be smart about this and start at least when we win it 2-0, 3-0, he need to find a way to set up the system so we defend.
Managers have been sacked for a lot less. Managers
Yeah,
have been sacked for a lot
like
less. So
we cannot be losing game when we winning 2-0. It just no sense. Chelsea is not like that. It's not about pretty for us. We didn't become fan to this club because we're pretty. We love when people hate us. That's what it is. I don't want to be pretty. I want people to hate me. So Tuchel need to understand that philosophy. When we win in 2-0, 3-0, let's go. We have done our job. Now we go nasty. That's what I want to see more from Tuchel. Yo, Mo, GJ sir, welcome to the stream. Mo, thanks for having me. I'm
Big up,
happy
Boogie,
to have
man.
an honor, and that's all I can say. And I see you next. And thanks to the chat and all Chelsea supporters. We should be really happy about today that at least we have a new owner, man. Okay, cheers, man.
Yeah, big up Boogie. Thank you for coming on. Take care, brother. Peace out, brother. Peace. DJ Sav, welcome.
Big up,
to
Mo. Big
the
up, big up, bro.
stream. Big up to you, brother. Listen, DJ, I asked you to come on specifically because I wanted to get a gist of the atmosphere because some of it came across on the TV, but you being at the bridge, I want to know how did the fans react because I saw in the stadium that they actually showed Todd Boehly's reaction on the big screen when the goals were celebrated and whatnot. How did the fans react to that? And how did the fans react to Lukaku scoring? Because it looked like they were all up for it, and he got a standing ovation and whatnot. So talk me through that. I mean, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, listen, the fans, I mean, obviously the fans gave a good ovation. I mean, Lukaku today, obviously I'll start with Lukaku because of the goals he scored. He had a pretty good game today, Mo, to be fair to him. I just felt sorry for him that in the end he kind of was on the end of a team that just ended up drawing the game because, to be fair, he was involved in quite a lot of the game today. I mean, even the goal that was chalked off, he played a part in that as well. For some reason it was chalked off. For some reason or another, they even got the thing wrong. They said it was actually Loftus-Cheek who scored the goal, but then it came up saying it was actually Rudiger who actually scored the goal. but it was chalked off for the, it was obviously right. It was rightly so. It was chalked off. I can understand why they did it. At first we all thought it was a goal, all cheering, thinking, yeah. Everyone obviously in the crowd was like obviously reacting because obviously it was a big game for us today with Todd Boehly being there today as well. Within the stands, it was like a bigger thing. It was a big thing for the players today, and I really thought we got a reaction would have come today from the players. They did start the game well. Obviously, then Wolves start when we obviously went 2-0 up. I'm thinking to ourselves, that's it. Just kill the game. Just bring on another defender if we have to, and just defend until the end. Because I always knew, unfortunately, the way we've been playing of late, they were always going to score a goal. And once that first goal went in, we all started worrying. Yeah, it's only about a matter of time before the equaliser comes in. And to be fair, I think there was a lot of minutes in injury time when they got the equaliser. 7 minutes, mate. 7 minutes when they got the equaliser, and we're thinking, where the heck did the 7 minutes come from? Maybe because of the decision of the disallowed goal. I don't know. It could have been one of the reasons why it was chalked up for quite some time before they decided it was not a goal. But it was obviously a bit of a frustrating day today, all around though. Obviously, Todd Boehly, great things he was there today. He's cheering and everything. I think the fans gave him a very, very good reception, which was great to see. Obviously, Roman is still going to be missed. There were still some sections still singing Roman Abramovich, but that's only to the fact that it was because of what the owner that he was and what he's done for the football club. That was it. Nothing bad towards Todd Boehly. But obviously we know what the man did for us. So that's the reason why some sections were still singing him. But other than that, mate, it was a good day. It was a good game in general. I reckon we should have won that game. We should have really killed that game off, really. But once again, chances not going in. And then when you let Wolves back into the game, you know what they're like, mate. They're one of the worst teams to ever play against, even in their worst times. They're one of the worst teams you can even play against. So, but unfortunately, it's one of those things with us at the moment, Mo. I really thought today when we had this takeover came, I thought the players were going to be up for it. Now this is in. They got the certainty now. They can go and put on a strong performance till the end of the season. I still believe we will do. Obviously, Leeds on Wednesday is going to be another tough test. But I thought there was enough today. There was enough on the pitch today to say we should have won that game. But as usual, lapse of concentration, and we let Wolves come back into the game.
Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, I'm glad that when Lukaku got that reception. Do you sense that he was feeding off the way the fans celebrated when he scored the penalty? And that kind of gave him the boost to score 2 minutes later.
Yes, he did, because I have to say, he started the game pretty well, Lukaku. I was like even thinking, wow, he did start quick. He started fast. He was getting involved. As I said, he was involved in the first goal that was ruled off. He played a part in that. And I thought he was really up for it. It's just the players around him today were just, as I said, some of the players around him today were not up to the same standards as he was today. But it doesn't mean it's all forgiven and forgotten with Lukaku. There's still a long way for him to go until he can win the Chelsea fans over. Because as you know, Mo, 97 million should be getting you more than what he did. Of what he's been doing of late for us. So we're still expecting more. But as I said, he had a good game. I thought he was probably one of our best players on the pitch today.
Yeah. I thought he was the man of the match personally. I was really pleased with his performance. DJ brother, thanks for coming on.
Yes, bruv. No worries at all.
Best of luck for Chelsea for the rest of the season. Hopefully we get the top four. Interesting results today with Manchester United.
I was loving that result.
And with Liverpool. Tomorrow's match, Newcastle City is going to be an interesting one. We'll see how that pans out. But looking forward to this season finishing. To be fair, I just want to get the FA Cup out of the way. And
did you manage to get tickets to the FA Cup final, Mo?
Not yet. No. To be honest, it's going to be difficult for me to go this year. But knowing Chelsea, we won't win this year, and we'll play again in the next FA Cup final, and we'll keep doing that. I don't know what's happening with these FA Cup finals, man. We need to start winning one of these eventually.
We'll win. I'm confident we'll do this. I'm confident we'll do it this year, mate.
Yeah. You know what? This result for Liverpool, hopefully it's a catalyst to them dropping a few more points, derailing their 100%. Season. Yep. FA Cup final comes around the corner. Their minds are not quite in the right place, and hopefully we'll snatch it. DJ,
100%.
thanks very much for
Cheers,
coming
bruv.
on. I will
No
see you in
worries
the
at
next
all.
one.
Peace
Take
out,
care,
bro.
brother.
Peace.
Have a
Peace,
good
everyone
night.
in comments.
Peace.
Take care. Peace.
Peace, DJ. Thank you for coming on. Pleasure. Lads, wow, nearly 3 hours. 4 minutes to 3 hours. What a stream. My streams is twice as long as the games that I am reviewing. Bloody hell. People, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching the stream. We got 107 likes. Not bad. Not bad. I mean, once we pass 100 likes, it makes it a little bit nicer on the statistics. Everyone who hasn't subscribed, I recommend you click that subscribe button. Everyone who hasn't liked the stream, I'd recommend you like the stream. It's been a pleasure having you guys on. I will be doing a preview for the Leeds match and then a review or a reaction after that game. So I hope to see you guys then. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Good night.